This is lead better.
Catfish, catfish. What's going on, guys?
What up? What up? What up? Why are you always logged into her stuff? Like, are you taking sales calls under her name? Like,
Bro, I'm doing everything, bro. I got the wig and everything. No, I'm not taking sales calls.
you
Cool.
shut the
So
wick.
yeah, no, I know. I make that joke all the time. We switched to a two call close.
Uh-huh.
Don't want to say anything about it, like so far, because there's not enough data, but our show up rate's 100%. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna share anything else. 100%. That's all I'm saying. I got something.
You don't want to jinx it.
I don't want to jinx it, so I'm just gonna knock on some wood. But I think that I can
So,
keep it pretty high.
well, what they're doing is they're going from, correct me if I'm mistaken, ad, conversation. Hey, do you want to hop on a call? They send you a link where you name, email, phone number, and then they schedule. All right, walk me through it. So, ad. Conversation, calendar with qualifying questions. Thank you, page. Which one? Okay, second call. Okay, so this. Okay, so that's right. So you basically chop it up and then say, "Hey, are you down for a call?" And then you don't schedule anything. And you just like, boom, yo, what's up? And then from there, like, do you want to do an actual call? For that, it's 100%. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Money, money.
So we switched to this. This is kind of what we used to do. And then
Uh-huh.
this is just straight organic. So it's actually funny because the type of content we're posting now has been attracting people, but we've had someone fill out the survey. I just jumped off a call with them at like 5, so like an hour ago, and they booked a sales call just now. So the discovery calls that we're doing, they usually take between like 10 to 15 minutes, but our show up rate's 100% right now. And then
Wait,
for the call,
hold on, hold on. Back up,
yep.
back up. So what happened with organic stuff?
So basically we just made a post
Yeah.
and um we're asking people to do certain things with like different posts. But anyway, someone came in, watched our VSL, and then filled out the survey,
Uh-huh.
and then they didn't book a sales call.
They didn't. Okay.
So I called them, and I was like, "Why the fuck didn't you book a sales call?" And then they booked one. So that was really cool. But we were
So
able to do that.
So basically, what Jordan said was you do the survey because if you just send a calendar or whatever, there might not think, but like if you do a survey, you at least have their contact information so you can do a setter call and then push that to a sales call. So we'll see if they show up. But so what was their reason when they said they didn't book or whatever?
Um, they just didn't have the time slot available on the calendar that they wanted.
Oh wow. Damn.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So
That's
I
money.
just jumped down with them and got them on there. But this is what we're doing now.
Good.
It's a little bit more labor intensive, but if it gets our show up rate from 50% to 75%, like that's fucking worth it.
When you say it's more labor, so I understand organic, I understand two call close. Are you still doing the one call close or you're not doing that anymore?
I'm currently not, so I wrote this down just to show Lauren what we were doing before, but we're not doing this right now. What
Mm.
I really enjoy about the survey is the way that it's like in that survey format because I'm not asking them for their name, email, phone number off the gate. The first question's like super qualifying, like, okay, look, or not even super qualifying, it's more broad, but it's like, hey, you have to be this thing, this thing, and this thing, and this thing to you'll even move forward anyway. Then it's like, okay, what's your name? And then it's like a couple qualifying questions, and then it's just like
What's
last,
that question? What's that question? The super qualifying question at the very beginning.
um, I wouldn't say it's super qualifying, so I guess I take that back, but it's basically like, are you our client avatar trying to get these results? Yes or no?
I see. Nice. And then
So then they go,
if they say no, do they get redirected to like oh, you're not good for this fit or whatever?
yes.
Nice.
Yeah. So if they say no, it's like, hey, this isn't for you. But they ask for the email and the phone number at the end, which I think is really cool because instead of like going to a calendar and kind of seeing like, holy shit, there's 17 things I need to answer, it's kind of like, hey, let's just give you bullet points and just have you click one of them so you can run through all the questions fast. And then it's just like, okay, what's your email? Because we're gonna send you some free resources. And then the last question is like, okay, what's your phone number so we can verify your application?
Wait, this is for people that get the first question like not right.
No, if they don't get the first question right, then they can't go through.
Okay.
If they get the first question right, then they keep going, they keep going, they keep going, they keep going.
But you said that so they get the name, email, phone number at the very end.
They get the email, phone number at the end, they get the name in the front.
So this one, the organic IG bio one, what you're telling me is that they went through that whole thing and then they got put name, email, phone number, all that stuff they put email, phone number at the very, very end, which is how you, but if they quit on that application before doing all that, then you wouldn't have got that information.
Correct.
Why not get the name, email, phone number at the very beginning after the super qualifying question?
That's what I was thinking too. I'm not sure why they do it that way, but I'm not in any complaints because there's nothing that's going like wrong.
Yeah.
But I brought that up as well. Is like, why would I not do that? And they said because I think I asked like my success coach, and she was basically like, because they've gone through all of the questions, and on the last question it literally says last question.
Yeah.
They know that after they fill out the contact details, that they'll be able to like move forward. And both the way that they ask for it is very like it makes sense to give it to them instead of like, hey, give me your name, give me your email, give me your phone number. It's just like, hey, give me your email because we're going to give you some free resources. And then the phone number is like, hey, let's just verify. This is how you can verify your application to completion.
Interesting. Okay. Huh.
So I don't know. It makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I have there's this piece of code I installed within my sales page where like if they put their email address in, it automatically like before they even hit enter, if they type it up, we collect it. I think I told you about that. That's been
Yeah.
that's been massive. So interesting. Well, I mean, hey man, like nothing to complain about, you're right. So I don't want to jinx it. You don't have to tell me if you don't have to, if you don't want to, but how many calls have you taken the new way?
Over five.
Okay. All right. We
Yep.
got we got we got some cooking.
I
Good.
know. That's why I'm like, I don't want to jinx it, but over five, we're 5 for 5. We closed one of them as well. So,
You- what was the big bottleneck? Was it show up or I would have to look at your numbers again, but was it show up or was it sales conversion rate or
um, I don't think our sales conversion rate's bad because it's at 30%. I think it can be higher, but I would say I mean, I don't think our show up rate was bad per se. It's just very inconsistent.
yeah.
Like to go 5 for 5 is really good because we've been kind of fighting tooth and nail to go 50% every month. Because like so one month it'll be like 70, and the next month it'll be like 30. Then you'll be like, what the hell?
Hmm.
So now it's kind of like if we consistently just get like 60, that would make a huge difference. Like huge difference in terms of like numbers and be able to throw a lot more money at the wall and be like, yeah, this is gonna be way more predictable.
But the issue was I mean, yeah, again, if you look at your Excel sheet, what was the core issue, do you think?
Um, I would say
Because you were battling your cost per book call, I think. Is that right?
yeah, I think our show up rate, I mean, in terms of making the numbers best, I think it's just going to be show up rate and sales rate percentage because, dude, I don't care if the cost per book call is $200.
Right.
If
If it
if they all show up, you know what I mean? It's whatever. So I don't care about that number, but if I can take a 25% close rate to a 40% close rate, my numbers
right.
can go through the roof and I don't give a shit.
Are you guys doing starting with the DM ads or follower ads or both?
So we're starting with a carousel follower ad.
Got it.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Exciting news.
Yeah.
Exciting news stuff.
Yep.
Congratulations. Um, Cam, Jeremy, MJ, Roberto, hope you guys are doing well. I was just talking to Mason. He was he was having some issues, not issues, but he was trying to figure out how to decrease his cost per book call. And it's crazy. Like some of the small changes they made have made a huge difference. I don't know. I think it'd be valuable, Mason, if you just want to share with them like what you just shared with me. I think the call thing that you guys are doing, and then also like that application thing would be massive. I think guys, everybody, seriously, listen, this is like fucking worth thousands of dollars, just these two small changes that Mason made.
Yeah. So the first thing I guess I can say is using a survey instead of using a basically a calendar to a form. So essentially the only difference is like in the calendar, once they pick a time slot, they go to the questions where I'm essentially doing the reverse, where I'm using the questions and then getting them to book. The way that it works, and the way it's a little bit different as well, as instead of them booking that time slot and then them loading a page where basically it's like, give me your name, give me your email, give me your phone number, give me the next, what your goal is the next 6 months, give me this, give me that, kind of qualifying them from there. Basically, the way that I've done it is I've built a survey and it just asks them questions one by one in a format in a way where it was kind of, I think it was maybe Jeremy, where he was working with a client or he was doing research where it was like semi-glutide or something. It was like, what is this question? What is this question? What is this question? What is this question? I basically have done that and done it for my offer specifically. And I didn't ask for their contact information off the bat. I said, hey, like, super qualifying question. So like for you guys, it would be like, hey, are you a medical spa that's looking to generate more leads through blah 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 or something along the lines of that? And it's a yes, or it's like no, leave this page immediately. This is not for you. And it's like, okay, what's your first name? What's your last name? And then you just go over some qualifying questions. Maybe something like how many locations do you have, or do you offer semi-glutide, or do you offer these services so they can kind of qualify themselves so you kind of know maybe what offer will work best for you or where they're trying to grow specifically so that when you get them on the discovery call, you know exactly what to talk to them about because instead of having them input what's important to them, which people barely do, they're kind of selecting a bullet point and they're telling you like, hey, this is what I'm looking for specifically. So when you get on the call with them, it makes them a lot more thirsty and talking about that thing specifically for that discovery call period versus trying to figure out on the discovery call and then throwing the steak in front of them trying to get them to eat it. So I'm already coming in with ammo to the discovery call. And then just from doing that, my show up rate from my discovery calls to sales calls percentage right now is 100%. So
So
that's
really quick, I'll chime in. Just there's some information I want to add for them, Mason. So guys, really quick, and this is super important. I'm adding this stuff inside the course. We're calling it the IG growth funnel. So that's literally what Mason does. It's basically an ad. People click on the ad, they start a conversation. Again, this would work for you, Jeremy. It's what you're doing right now, Cam. So basically, the consumer is having a conversation with the business owner. Then the business owner says, awesome, let's chop it up. And then the business owner would send a link to a counter page. And then from there, what people would do is they would select a time. And then from there, they would go and answer all these questions. What Mason did is he flipped it. So he sends them a link, and then what it is, it's like a jot form where they click on it, they answer these questions. The very first question is a very important qualifier. Are you avatars trying to solve this problem? Yes or no? If you are, yeah, they can move on through the jot form. If they say no, they get redirected. And so if they answer they say the right thing, well, then they keep answering these questions. Unlike when you get to a typical calendar page, you have to answer these things. People are like, oh, I don't want to answer these, or they live open, vague answers, or whatever. It's just simple, like select this, select this, select this. So this is what Mason says, laser target precision, trying to understand what their desire is. And then he's collecting the name US one at the very end. That's the part I'm a little bit confused on, but like the way Mason said it, it does make sense. And so, here, if you think about it, again, add conversation side of the DMs, and then they go to this form. So if they go to this form, if they fill out the first, second question, they're probably going to fill it all the way, which means that then they're going to get to a counter page. If they get to a counter page, here's what Mason can do. If they don't like book it, he has their information, so he just does a call and then gets them scheduled. So he literally talked about how that was an example. So somebody saw an ad, they went and tried to book a call, they answered the questions, but they did not schedule. Mason called and said, "Hey, why didn't you book a thing?" They're like, "Oh, the available time wasn't there." That's money that could have like fell through their hands, but he was able to capture that just because of that simple switching it from the calendar to the answer question to answer questions first.
yep.
So that's the first thing that they did that made a big difference. The second thing is, and Mason, you can chime in if you want, if I don't get it right, but basically, what they did is, so this is saucy, right? Right, this right here is like super saucy, guys. So have a conversation inside the DMs. From there, he sends a link. Remember, people can click on the link, they can book, they cannot book, whatever. Right? So the first barrier is, are they going to click or not? So that's barrier one. Two, if they do click, are they going to go to the counter page and book or not? Three, after they answer the book on the counter page, are they going to answer those questions afterwards or not? Like there's all these issues. So there's like multiple barriers right there. So what he does is now add conversation. Hey man, this sounds like it'd be a good fit. Let's hop on a call. Instead of sending a link, instead of losing them, he just like, hey dude, are you available at this time? Or are you available now? Then they just hop on that call. 100% show up rate, 100% success rate because they're just hopping on. So this is massive for everybody. And then from there, once they know, like, trust you, now you officially schedule on a calendar. So it's a two call close. So the first one's a discovery call, push that to a sales call. Now they can close a sales call. Now they're going to show up, most likely.
Yep.
Makes sense. So huge difference. Those small little nuggets, massive difference. Mason, is there anything you want to, if did I miss anything that you want to add on?
Yeah, I guess there's one other thing. So I'm not taking the sales calls. So it's kind of cool in a way that we set it up where there's like a little bit of a hierarchy to it because everyone is kind of expecting my business partner to be the one to talk to them. And when I jump on the phone with them, um, there's a little bit of psychology there where it's like, oh shit, like this girl has a team, like she's official, she has someone else calling on her behalf. And then it's almost kind of like a privilege to be able to jump on the call with her because she's kind of been through me, she's been through the receptionist, right? And another cool thing is like I literally did this today, and I thought it was super cool that I thought I'd share as well, was like she literally asked me, she was like, how much is it? And I was like, yeah, to be completely honest with you, I have no idea. That's something that you'd have to talk to Lauren about because it's 100% customized based on what your needs are. So, I mean, I can't really give you the best answer exactly what she might say for you, but what I can tell you, which again, I know this is kind of a terrible answer, but like the lowest I've seen a client pay us is like $47, and the most I've seen is have someone pay us $600 a month. So it's like as long as you're within that range and you're like willing to invest in yourself, and like worst case scenario, you jump on a call with her, you come with a notepad, and basically you're just able to write down notes. She's going to point you in the right direction anyway. So there's no reason I wouldn't do it myself. We're all
Nice.
like, oh, yeah, cool, let's do it. And it's worked every single time.
Nice. Yeah, that's another massive thing. I'll tell you guys also from my own experience. I used to do something similar. So we would run ads for wedding filmmakers, and so inside the messages, I basically would say, "Oh, I'm Mason's assistant, and my job is to book a call with you, have a conversation. Then if you're a good fit, I'm gonna push you on to Mason." And so in the messages, they were talking to Kushik, the receptionist, and the phone call, they were talking to Kushik, the receptionist. And only if they passed, then I pass them on to Mason, the actual wedding videographer. So that's another massive thing if you guys want to leverage. There's a lot of gold in what Mason shared there as well. Um, that being said, guys, we're 16 minutes in. Started this new year off with a bang with lots of go nuggets. Hope everybody's doing well. Cam, Jeremy, MJ, Rodarte. We'll go and get started. Um, who do we have first? Cam, we got you first. Um, we can go and delve on Inman. Aman, I don't know when Aman's gonna come in, but I think it could be very valuable for everybody. Cam, Jeremy. If Aman comes in and like chops it up and you guys hear me and him talk, 'cause I think we're all kind of talking about similar things, or at least the things that me and him are talking about, I think you guys would get value from. Are you guys cool with that?
Hmm.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So we'll go and just get started then. So uh where do you want we can start from the very beginning.
So I got a call at 4:30, so I don't really know how valuable I say to someone else, whoever's after me. I think it's Jeremy, just goes next. Then I'll pop back on if I can.
Okay, so are you saying start with somebody else then?
Yeah, yeah, I gotta leave here in a sec.
Okay. Is anybody in a rush then? Um, Mr. Jeremy. Um, so I threw a novel at you. Questions,
Yeah.
comments, concerns, thoughts.
No, it all. Can you hear me okay? I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it all made perfect sense. So, good stuff. Um, just a bit of news. I think I said in my deal, turned my ads on, and over the course of yesterday and today, I've had six discovery call, or not discovery, but six booking calls. Four were today. So I've been on the phone all day long almost. One ghosted me. The other three have all moved into the sales call presentation. So I had the discovery call thing, man. I feel like I have got that down pat.
Good.
I just feel really comfortable doing that. The sales call, I'll let you know next week how comfortable I feel after those three. But generally, when I get into the sales call, if I get a chance to talk to them, I feel pretty good. So that kind of leads into what I was talking about with you know, just making sure I'm getting people results. I'm still only working with Alpita, but she is getting results. Um, we only ran her ads there that week of like 4 days before Thanksgiving, then turned them off. And then we literally spent most of December just kind of building out and testing this funnel. And we turned it on January 2nd, and she's getting sales. So
What?
this,
No, no. Really?
yeah, Yeah, it's working. I can show it to you, but they essentially go on, they see all the offers. She's offering an unbelievable price. That may be the biggest part of it because anybody who's looking for this stuff, when they see her price, they're like, oh, well, I got to do this one. So,
Huh.
but they go into the offers, they see if they qualify, they fill out their form. The next thing takes them to where they have to pay $20 just to meet with her, just to make sure they're real. They do that and they book the calendar, fill out some health questions, and they're in. And she books them right on through to the doctor. I have two virtual assistants working now, making phone calls for her. I've got them kind of loaded and ready to go where they're going to start tomorrow. Um, she has, I should have looked it up, but I think she has 6 or 7 sales already through the 4 days in November and the first few days of January.
How
Then
much have you
today, uh,
how much have you spent with her so far in these 4 days?
she's spending $50 a day.
So
So
she,
here's the thing is she started her ads on January 2nd. And as you
yeah,
know, she can't ever just leave things alone. So she went in and made an update to her ad against my strong recommendation. She did it anyway, and it immediately rejected because she
yeah.
put some wording in there about buying these drugs, these medicines. And it stayed rejected for a couple days. I told her, I think this is why it's happening, Alpita. So she let me go in there and put it back the way I had it. And as soon as it did, it went through. Um, so she had one, it was from January 2nd. Then there was a full day where it was rejected. So she's only been running them for 3 days and she's getting 2 or 3 leads every day. They're,
You know what, you and Aman, man, you guys, if I were in your position, you know what I would do with what you got going on, like that, like I would be running ads to telehealth businesses,
yeah,
and you just
I,
copy and what you got.
once I feel good that it's working, you know, that it's working, that we've done it more than 6 or 7 days when you combine it, I will, because
Yeah.
I've been strongly thinking about it. Um, and what's funny is now I'm seeing ads for other companies saying, "Are you a telehealth company?" And so their prices are kind of ridiculous. So I don't know how they're doing what they're doing, but I saw one they're saying they'll do it for $500 a month and they guarantee so many of this and that. And I'm thinking, I thought about booking with them just to see. Also, remember that lady I spoke to in Colorado who is working with that company Moxie, and they just kind of they're controlling her company. She sent me the contract, so I'm going to send that to you to look at because I would like for your opinion on it. But they literally have their fingers in everything she's doing. Now they did give her permission to run ads with me, so if that becomes a thing where I think it might work, I might do that. But I'm going to go back to them and say you got to reduce whatever fees you're taking from her if you're going to have me do that. So that might help her spur on the sell to me. Um, but yeah, so like I said, I'm feel good with sales calls, discovery calls. Now I'm just kind of starting to. I've got Alpita going. I've got the lady in Houston. She and I are going to be launching stuff hopefully this week or next. They wanted to take the holidays off. The guy I got in Virginia, the doctor, he messaged me today and just said he's having some structural changes in his business. He needs to hold for just a minute so he can get that all taken care of. And then he's going to start up, he said, toward the end of January or February. But he's already paid me for 1 month. So I'm not worried about him leaving. He's been staying in touch with me and letting me know what's going on all through the holidays. And he's got a VA who also talks to me. So I just start feeling that little thing in my chest, like, okay, I've been saying how good this is. Now I got to do it. So that was where my questions were coming. And a lot of your answers, I was just seeing what you were saying. And I should have said in my thing, like, Amon has told me some of this. But, and I'll tell you, that's also how I'm presenting it in the discovery call is that, look, we're going to run an ad that you may not make any money on. But the goal is when they get in, we have created these packages, memberships, subscriptions, whatever you want to call them, that we upsell. Um, so the only thing I'm finding is most of these med spas are not gigantic. So, they're all going to either need me or a virtual assistant helping them. So that's why I went into the AI questions. So I've been talking too much. I'm going to pause for a minute and let you give me your thoughts.
So when it comes to the virtual assistants for Alpida, did you find those? Did she find those?
Well, one of them's my wife. She doesn't have a job right now, so she just sits around eating bonbons all day. No, I'm just kidding. But she's going to do so. Alpida wants phone calls in the morning and in the evening, and she wants 2 phone calls every day for 8 days in a row. So one of the ladies who's doing, my wife will do them in the morning. The other lady speaks Spanish and English, which Alpida wanted. And I just work with her. She's the lady I work with when I do these grocery store videos and social media posts.
Hmm.
So I know her very well. She's just a stand-up lady, and I've got her trained and ready to go. So she's the other one. And I'm just going to pay her a couple $100 a month because it's going to be basically 15 hours a week or of work probably. And anyway, that's how I got them. But yeah, and then this guy, Dr. Q in Virginia,
How did you go about training them? Like, did you create Loom videos? Did you create a course? How did you go about that?
we've just been doing Zoom calls together.
I
And
see.
I've just, and Alpida came up with a script, and they don't have many systems. They have to, they work a little bit and go high level. And then she has this thing called EMR, where if the person says they want to do it, you have to book what medicine they want and book the time with the doctor. So it's all, you know, it, you don't have to be overly intelligent to do it. The hardest part has been getting them up to speed on what semaglutide and tirzepatide is, and how do you talk about that with a customer before you're kind of like, okay, your questions are going over my head. Let me get you to somebody else, and then they go to Alpida. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, Melissa, my wife, is 10 times smarter than I am. She worked for one of the senior vice presidents at AT&T. So the things I'm asking her to do, she can do in her sleep. And Noelle, the other lady who I work with, the grocery store, the man who is her boss owns these grocery stores, but he's also an income tax person, and she works for him there. So that's all she does is talk to people all day long, get them booked into his calendar. So these are just like nothing for either one of them.
Yeah.
So now the guy in Sterling, Virginia, Dr. Q, who's asking me to hold on for a little bit, he has a VA out of the Philippines named Richard. And that's who I've been primarily working with for Dr. Q. And this guy's as sharp as a tack. And he, without me asking, has been asking if I could hire him. He's like, "Do you have any work I can do for you?" And so I'm like, "I might. Hang on." So I think I'll have him ready to go. And he's very affordable being in the Philippines. So um, yeah, I feel good about all that stuff. It's just got to deliver now.
Yeah.
And these people I've signed on, I just feel a connection with them. Probably my fault, but I want them all to do well. So yeah, just got to figure out the good offers, and I've I've set them all up with the understanding of exactly what you told me, that it's going to be a lower ticketed item that you're going to upsell.
Yeah.
So, and I think done a really good job with all of them of saying it's on you. Once they get in the door, it's on you. I'm bringing them to you, and they're going to be hungry, so you got to now feed them. So I think they all understand that. So
No. I mean, in terms of like me giving you advice or anything, I mean, there's nothing to really tell you until things start to break. Um, And the only thing I can foresee, the thing that so Aman has issues where he does talk to somebody and he knows right away whether he can help them or not. If they're on the smaller side, he typically knows like it's not going to work. Or even if it does work and I take their money, they're going to be a pain in the butt. They're not in,
yeah,
they're going to blame him. So the thing that I foresee being an issue is going to be maybe you know, figuring out that skill set. It sounds like you already seem to know how to train people to do something. So that's like awesome. You're learning that so fast. The skill that I see there being is like, how do you scale that? How do you scale that system? How do you consistently find people in the Philippines, bring them in, get them trained, and then, get them. And again, I'm not necessarily saying you need to do that. I'm not saying you need to have 10, 15 of these and have a really bloated call center. Um, but I think it would be worthwhile to hire one, right? For the three clients you got going on, it would be worthwhile to like, hey, you got your wife, you got this other person, you're gonna bring that other Philippine guy on, then maybe you learn the skill set of bringing one person, that isn't somebody that you know. Now you got four people. And it's like, okay, I've done it. So now I know how to do it if I need to do it. But then I would obviously try to move away from that, if you can, if you know what I mean, that would be ideal.
Yeah.
Um, but maybe not. Like it doesn't seem like you're pulling your hair out. It doesn't seem like it's stressing you out. I know that Gym Launch go and do that. Gym Launch go out there and they actually find a setter and then place them inside of the business. And that's extremely valuable. So maybe that is something that you do. Maybe it's something you look into. I don't know yet. Me and Aman, I'll tell you right now, like he's not here right now. So when he does hop in, like me and him are like, it's like it's like a midlife crisis trying to figure out, do we do the AI text? Do we do the AI voice? We still don't know, to the point where it's like really frustrating. So, you know, maybe the VA route is the right route. I don't know yet. But either way,
Yeah.
like keep doing it. I would say keep doing it. I don't see any red flags. I don't see anything potentially broken. Um, I know we spoke about creating creatives. I'm glad to hear that the ads are performing so well for you. So to the point where it's like, yeah, go fill them and do what you need to do. But it's almost like I don't even want to touch that pocket.
Yeah. Well, that was the other thing. I must have hit a really good pocket,
Yeah.
because so I thought, well, if I have time, if it keeps up at this pace where I'm getting, before the week even starts, my calendar's getting full, I'll just create those when I have a chance. But right now my CPM is still high. It's over $100. But, so when I look at the number, like from Ads Manager right now, it says my CPM is $106.31, but I've only spent $153 and I got six meetings. So, I'm okay with that. That CPM, maybe it's just not averaged out yet. Maybe I just hit everything up front. And as the month goes on, it'll wear out and it'll not work as well. But as long as I keep getting bookings, I'm just going to leave it alone. I've learned my lesson with playing around with ads and, tinkering. So, yeah, I feel really good with that.
Get it.
Um,
I would say get it filmed, right? I would say get it filmed. I would say prioritize that, because the last thing you want to do is when you're burning through cash because nothing's working and you're scrambling to
yeah,
launch the ads and this and that. Like, trust me.
yeah,
So how I would film it if you got a breather.
yeah,
Don't touch the ads, obviously. They keep performing.
yeah. No, I'll leave them alone for now. But yeah, I figure get them in the can. That way you need to you pull the trigger when you have to instead of
Yeah.
having that little delay. Um, I did find a guy on Facebook, and I'll send you. I think he shared it with me. He did a seminar on how to do outbound receptionists through Go High Level, and he recorded it and he sent me the recording because I couldn't go to the meeting. So if he did share a link with me that's shareable, I'll put that in here for everybody to have too. Because if he says it's in his thing, it says build an outbound receptionist and Go High Level for $0. So we'll see. But I haven't had a chance to watch it, but I'll share that with you guys. And then if it's really good, then maybe that'll be something that can help Aman even.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the only thing is like I just don't, I think I told you very early on I don't want to do their nurturing, but I'm finding out that that's probably what's going to happen. And I'm okay with that. As long as I'm getting them results and it's working and I'm making money on it, I'm okay with that. It's just, I don't want to spend all day talking to people on the phone. And
No.
so that's why I would probably bring in virtual receptionists, or if the AI works, that's where I would do it.
Yeah. Okay. Um, I mean, everything sounds like it's running pretty well for you, Jeremy. I don't, this is music to my ears. I'm really happy for you.
Yeah, I
Anything
feel really good. And
good.
I know I still owe you some wins videos and testimonies and all that stuff too. So don't think I've forgotten that. And Cam, I know Cam, he wanted me to film a video for him. I'll do that. I just, my holidays, even though I'm not working, you know, my family comes into town and my mom puts a very regimented schedule. I'm more busy in the holidays than I am at my office. So
No
it's
worries.
like, oh, phew, the holidays are over. I can take a break, go back to work. So
Yeah. So, yeah, no, we got the New Year's and everything kind of slows down a little bit more now.
yeah,
We might as well do is like I've never really done this before, but like usually I just ask people to record videos. We'll do maybe as I'll try some for a change. We'll just hop on, maybe me and you. I'll
Yeah,
just like, and we'll just maybe talk it through, and maybe that'll be good enough, and we'll just test
that's
that out.
a yeah. If I can just, I got to just put it on the calendar because if it's not on my calendar, I won't do it.
No
So
worries.
I just need
I'll,
to put it on the calendar.
yeah, I'll figure out sometime this week to get a schedule on this or next week, and we'll knock it out.
And I keep seeing your gorgeous mug all over my Facebook. I don't know how to stop it so that you're not wasting money on me, but I swear you are everywhere on my Facebook pages.
I gotta tell Facebook to
Your
start.
new video looks good. It's got Cam in it and everything. It looks great. I watched
Thanks.
one all the way through, but I was like, man, he is what it's wasting money on me. I did one where I was like, stop seeing these ads, and it still shows them to me. So,
No.
um,
I mean, hey, I think the cost is probably like 0.00000 like one.
yeah.
Worry about it.
Hey, that could be 0.001 you spend on somebody who really needs it.
That's
So,
true. That's true.
but yeah, the new video looks really cool.
Thank you. Maybe you can be in the next one.
Yeah, we'll I'll do Trump.
Let's not do that.
We won so bigly with Koshik's method. We got so many voters. It's unbelievable. Believe me.
You're gonna raise my CPM, Jeremy.
Yeah, the almond rich Republican. Yeah.
Um, do you have any questions for Mason?
No, Mason, I was about to call you or message you a couple days ago. I swear to God, guys, I'm learning so much from Alpida. I really am. I had her funnel all set up. It was working perfectly. And then magically it wasn't working anymore. Well, guess what? I went in and there was all kinds of changes that had been made. Then the Facebook ad gets rejected. There were changes made. So I think that was the question. My question on you was lastly, how do I control these people? You know, can I actually say, look, it's my way or the highway. Don't touch that stuff. Leave it alone. If you touch it, I'm done.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that, but I did have she was wanting to go into Facebook ads and turn on all the AI stuff. And I said, Alpita, if you do that, I will not guarantee anything anymore. Now you're relying on Mark Zuckerberg and his AI and not me. So I just need you to know if you go in there and make changes and stuff, you're kind of voiding out everything I told you I would do for you. So I think that, and then the ad getting rejected may have been a blessing in disguise because she was like, okay, I promise I'm not touching anything anymore. So yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Right? I've dealt with people like that. They say they won't touch it, and then somehow it's like they have some kind of retroactive amnesia. A few weeks,
Yeah.
and they do the same thing. Like, oh yeah, I'm sorry. We'll see.
The problem is because she's smart and she has good knowledge around this stuff. It's not like she's, computer illiterate. She knows how to set up a Facebook campaign and ad sets and ads, and she knows those things.
Yeah.
And so she knows enough to be dangerous, is what it is. And so,
Did you
yeah, I've
did you optimize for leads or purchases within that funnel?
on this one I did for sales and conversions.
So sales is the campaign objective. At the ad set level, what have you optimized for? Did you optimize for lead or purchase?
Well, I didn't see I did. I have to look at it, Koshik. I just know I did sales and conversion. When it asked, do you want
Oh.
to do this for leads or
So at the campaign level, you did sales and not leads.
yes?
Okay, so at the
Yeah.
campaign, you did sales, and then at the ad set
So
level, done
campaign objective is sales, and then I did conversions after that.
conversion at the ad set, but it should ask you like what kind of conversions. Like the conversion type is for a lead, the conversion type is for a sale, the conversion type is for there should be an option.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it in here. So as I look in the campaign,
So
um,
so here I'm at the ad set level, performance
mhm.
goal, maximize conversion. That's probably what you're talking about, but I'm talking about the conversion event. The conversion event, you get to select you want leads, you want purchases, you want view content.
Complete registration is
Oh
what
wow.
it says, but it won't let me change it.
No, it's not
So,
supposed to.
yeah.
That's
No, I do remember setting that, like the complete the registration was because there's not really the purchase is, I guess, when I was reading through there, the way it read to me when I was highlighting what each one was, it was like it was purchase made me nervous because it sounded like it was more for like buying a product. And they're not
Yeah.
necessarily doing this. They're completing a registration where they have to pay for the registration. So that's what I did.
What's your
So
cost?
yeah.
What's your cost per registration right now? $50, $25?
Um, let's go back and take a look here.
Yeah, you selected the right one. I thought you selected purchase, so that's what was like. I was like, what?
Her cost per 1,062.39 amounts. She's only spent $72 so far.
So
I don't see the cost per. Maybe I just haven't got it in the column.
it would just be the number of people that have opted in to that funnel so far. 72 divided
Oh,
by.
okay. So yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'd have to go into her Go High level, which I'm not logged into right now. Let me do that real quick. I can tell you.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it sounds to me like you probably got like a $7, $10 cost for registration.
So let me get into stats here. Okay, she's had 116 people click on the link, and we've had 7 people make it all the way through where they actually paid.
Oh wow, that's insane. So
Yeah,
Cost per
$72,
purchase is like $10. What the fuck?
bro, that's
yeah.
insane.
So she's got. Well, you got to remember this lady is ferocious. Once they show up, she's like texting me, going, "Did you see we got a new lead? Call them, call them, call." You know, so she is a pit bull when it comes to blood in the water. She's a shark. She goes after it. So we've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6 actual sales this month from January 2nd. So I've made her money back that she paid for me in that
Wait, so
first month, way
so she
over.
how much
Within 4 days.
how much has she spent so far since the beginning of the month? You said $50 per day.
$72
So she spent
because
$70 and divide that by 6 people. That's like $12 per purchase. That is insane.
yeah, I'm sure it's January 1st. Everybody's, trying to lose weight, but I really think we have,
Jeremy, you
I
got
mean,
some. These numbers don't exist, man. Like these kinds of numbers do not exist. Your cost per
well,
purchase for this is like $200.
we'll
So
see how long it lasts, but I think we do have a really good system set up.
yeah.
Um, yeah, just let me check, make sure it's still active. So that's good. So the numbers are, uh, the reach is 952, views about 1,200, so 1.22 on the frequency, $72.73 spent. Impressions about 1,200. Cost per 1,062.39. This says link clicks 20, but in Go High level, it was quite a bit higher. It's let's go for January. It's 116, 86 unique clicks. Here's the other thing, Koshik, is we've had a couple people sign up by finding the site organically.
Oh,
So they didn't cost anything. They found the funnel. She and I went in and spent time in that funnel, marking up the metadata and all that stuff.
huh.
So we've had a couple people sign up just finding it organically. She had one lady that wants to buy it, but she's not in a state that it can ship. So that was the 7th. So we've had 6 people who could actually buy. One lady, Lorraine Hutcherson, who lived in South Carolina, and she can't ship there yet. So
Oh,
she's
wow.
on our wait list.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's going really well right now. I even today on the last discovery call I was doing, the lady has a med spa, and her main revenue source is semaglutides and tirzepatide, and she mentioned she's not happy with her provider. So I connected her with Alpeda. So this may turn into a thing where like I was telling you, there are several of these med spas I'm talking to. Well, Alpida's got the whole system set up, so you could technically walk into Bob's med spa, and Bob doesn't have or offer semaglutide or tirzepatide. Well, you just bring in Alpida, and she sets up. So somebody's like, "Do you offer that?" And, oh, actually, I do, and he'll just connect them with Alpida. Alpida will get the telehealth call set up and order it, and it'll look like it all came through Bob. So there may be as hard as she's worked me, this may start providing some fruit one way or another that turns into a good relationship, um, where I learn a lot and maybe turn her into a long time customer. I just got to figure out how to curtail some of the. She's already texted me a couple of times since we've been talking, so it's just very high touch.
So far worth it. So far worth it.
Yeah, yeah. I will say, I joke about her being high touch, but man, I have learned a lot. And what's good is, she's also in the mindset of, okay, like you always say, failing forward. That's her mindset. That's what she's like, well, just try it, see if it works. And if it doesn't work, she's like, cut it off. Let's try this, so, um, and man, she she will pick up an object and look at it from every angle and think about every potential pitfall. So, the hard work is good work because she's thinking of things I didn't think of, and I'm thinking of things she didn't think of. And so I think we've got a pretty airtight little funnel set up. We just got to make sure it stays functioning the way it should. So,
Anything else you want to go over? Say, Jeremy?
no, no. I hope you all have a happy new year. I hope everything is, everybody makes $1 million this year. I'll let you guys know if I get all of the sales calls are tomorrow and Thursday. So let you know if I get them closed. And I just got to figure out how to get results and how to solve this, nurturing process for people. If I can do that, I feel really good. And I am meeting with my friend. He's been sick, but we're going to talk about doing cold calls across the country. So I'll let you know how that goes.
Yeah. Keep me posted. Are you hanging out or are you gonna head out?
I can hang out for a little while. I'm sitting at home, so
Is there
nobody,
the reason I'm asking is
nobody's.
there anything in particular that you feel like if me and Aman were to talk about it could be beneficial for you or not? That's what I'm
If you
asking.
guys get into the AI stuff, I wouldn't mind listening. So if he jumps, I'll hang out here, and if he doesn't jump on in 30 or 40 minutes, I'll get out. And if he does jump on, you can text me, and I'll hop back in.
Cool. Sounds good.
Yeah.
That case, next we've got Mr. Rodarte. What's going on, man?
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, man, just recovering from the holidays. It was a busy 2 weeks for me and with the family. I'm actually like Jeremy, I'm happy the holidays are over and just back to the routine. It was chaotic. Um, but yeah, as you know, I turn off my ads. We're going back to the drawing board. I've updated my KPIs for HVAC just so they weren't. I think I had a few numbers that were wrong in there, so they are updated now. My official closing rate was 10%. Um, so, uh, but yeah, I have to, I made the mistake in, I have to go to high level and reconnect the six-figure, funnel, the URL, because I changed it like a dumbass. I changed it to the HVAC. So now I gotta go and just connect it before I launch. But other than that, I'm just gonna turn it on and see what comes.
Yeah, man. Anything, yeah, so in terms of like 10%, like yeah, we want to see it around 30%.
Yeah.
You know, um I guess like do you have questions for me, question for Mason, question for the other guys? Anything that we could kind of maybe chime in for you?
No, I mean, I'm like sitting here like ecstatic that Jeremy's doing so well. I'm like, okay, so like I'm seeing someone succeed. So I'm just taking like a roundabout way of it, I guess. But like I don't know, it's like okay, it's possible. Um, I don't know, it's encouraging. So, um, but you were saying something. I didn't understand what you were saying in your note to me about making a new course and then a subscription or something. I don't know. I don't understand all that part.
Um,
I just read it.
okay,
Actually.
okay, okay. This you're talking about this. Yeah, so basically what I'm doing is I'm coming in here, guys, and I'm gonna divide week four into like multiple week four. So week four it's gonna be the social growth funnel, week four, lead form ads, week like so various different types of funnel strategies using Facebook ads. This way I can just kind of say, okay, use this strategy instead of like, hey, figure out yourself. So um there's something I'm working on called the Instagram growth funnel. And so that's all going to be here within like 1 or 2 weeks. And so it's basically all that Mason does. So basically you have an Instagram. And so you take somebody's Instagram, first of all, obviously it has to like look decent. So you got the post. So like one of the things that you sell is just like, hey, let me ensure that your Instagram is dialed in. Then what it is, it's basically a follower ad. So people follow them, and then from there they push that to like a discovery call and a sales call. And then there's also a IG DM ad. So they send this to them, and then that means they have to like click on a button, and then from there a conversation starts, and then from there, you push that to a discovery call and a sales call.
So,
So
so I'm sorry to interrupt. Is this for us or for sales delivery?
service delivery.
Service delivery, yeah.
Yeah. And so the reason I brought this up is again, this is what pretty much Mason's doing for personal trainers. He helps them dial in their Instagram and then he does follower ads and then helps them convert that to discovery to sales call. And then again, he does IGDM ads. So I'm just going to create this for you guys because I think it's easier to do than like, I mean, I'm doing it for various reasons, but like lead form ads and like fun, like it's just more complex. I feel like this is pretty simple. And also it's more video centric because it would force you to come in here and part of your offer is like, I'll come in and I'll shoot content, I'll make sure your Instagram looks good and everything like that. So, I share that with you because you come from like again a video background. That's something you're very comfortable with and stuff like that. And that's one of the things I spoke to you about like 6 months ago. I'm like, hey, you lead with something that's video centric, and then you're running. They don't realize that the video isn't making them money. The ads is what's making them the money. I don't know if you remember me sharing that with you.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah. So it's like you can start like shifting that because you'll have this information within week four. So you'll know like, oh, like for example, I got a buddy, right? Um, So this guy right here, he's creating these types of videos, right? This is what I mean. It's like you create these types of videos and they're going to his Instagram and all the videos are like, hey, follow me for more. And I know the videographer that's doing these videos. So that videographer came to this guy and he shot these pieces of content. So this is the videographer. He's basically in Ohio. He does the follower funnel. So he went in there, he shot these videos for him. And then the next thing you know, he's going to launch the ads for him. And that's the business model. So he goes in, shoots content, gets your Instagram looking good, and then he runs the follower ads, DM ads, and then that's what actually ultimately makes the money, and therefore that's why they pay the retainer.
Got it.
So I'm just sharing with you because you can start doing this kind of stuff. You can start pivoting to this if this is something you feel comfortable with. Um, what are your thoughts when you see this?
So, and I guess I'm still not 100% clear. Is this like a niche or are you niching down still, or is it just the same is it like
So
more of a broader?
yeah, so what he does, this guy right here, he does this for all businesses within Ohio. Obviously, the follower funnel doesn't work for every business. So basically, this guy right here, that guy runs ads to local business owners, just like the 6 for 6 week sales funnel, and he sells them on video. And then he goes in and again, he shoots his content, launches ads and stuff like that.
Got it. Okay.
So I just bring this up because I wonder if this would be easier for you to sell because again, it's your language, you're familiar with it, you've been doing it for a very long time. Maybe this is something easier for you to sell?
Okay. I understand.
So it's either do the 6 figures in 6 weeks, and then you do service delivery in terms of like traditional, you do service delivery in terms of, the social funnel, right? Um, and I don't know if it makes a big difference because I feel like you're kind of at the level where Jeremy is at, where like you feel comfortable in terms of like how to get results for people. Like I think you have a good enough understanding. So I don't know if like switching to like service delivery or social funnel is going to be a big deal. So this is like one way things could look like for you. Another way is like you just figure out another way, another funnel to run ads, and then you just do the social funnel. So you do the 6 figure 6 weeks for client acquisition, and then you have one of two ways that you can get people results, or use a different funnel, and then you just do the social funnel in terms of results. And so that other funnel could be like his funnel. I can share with you what his funnel looks like. I can show you his literal ads, everything. It's very simple. It's like, hey, if you're a business owner if you're a business owner that's local, and you want to this outcome, click below and give me a follow. And then people will follow him, and then from there he'll DM them and start conversation, push that to a sales call, and then closes them. So this is a completely different funnel for client
Okay.
acquisition.
Do you think the 6 figure could lead to that one or no? Or like how would that work?
Can you rephrase your question?
So using the six, because I have the funnel ready to go, the 6 figure, I don't have to do anything, just turn it on. So that finds a client, that finds someone that I can then pivot to the social one.
So yeah, so basically there's client acquisition, right? And then there's service delivery, right? So basically you're saying use the 6 figures in 6 weeks for client acquisition, right?
Right.
And then from there, when it comes to service delivery, you can do the social funnel for them, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so what I'm saying is like, yeah, that's an option.
Okay.
And or you can do like traditional service delivery. And so when I say traditional service delivery, do you know what I'm talking about?
The
Do you
one
know?
the ones I already did, right? The
Yeah,
yeah,
basically what you've been doing for like Pilates, HVAC, like whatever you've been doing, traditional stuff.
okay.
So you have this pathway, and then you have this pathway. Okay. Now we just have to see how that works for you. Okay. Now the issue is sales. The issue is not service delivery for you. The issue is sales, right? So what does that mean? That means like let's see what happens with 6 figure. The reason I like it is just cheaper. So it gives you more bats, more chances. If for some reason this doesn't work, then for client acquisition, what we would do is we would do like the social funnel for you for service client acquisition or something else. Social funnel, cold calling, referrals, door knocking, I don't know. There's all different kinds of things that we would have to look into. And then when it comes to service delivery, you would do the social funnel. Does that make sense now?
Yeah.
Route one, the first thing we're going to change is we're going to turn the 6 figure 6 week on, and then you just sell them, and then you can do either one of these, whichever one you feel comfortable with. Just do whatever you feel comfortable with.
Okay.
And let's see how it goes. And if things are great, things are gravy, and you're chilling, well, then boom, just keep it here. We're chilling, no problem. If you run into issues and it turns out to be a sales issue, then we'll pivot down here. So we'll probably do a social funnel for you, like Andrew's doing. This guy, Andrew. We'll probably do a social funnel for you, which is again running ads to local business owners and telling them to give you a follow. And then from there, you push that to a discovery and a sales call. Again, it's still going to require discovery sales calls, but this is even cheaper than this. That's the other benefit. This is cheaper. But it's
Okay.
more.
What if I do a social funnel for myself though, like just to get my followers up?
That's what I'm saying. Like first we do this.
I see.
And if this doesn't work, then we come down here for
Okay.
client acquisition. We do the social funnel for you to get your followers up and all that stuff.
Okay.
You basically get conversations and push that. So every single follow that you get, you try to push that to a discovery and a sales call. So this is really cheap. This is what Mason does, by the way. This is what Mason does. So
Okay.
you do for client acquisition, that's what you do. And then for service delivery, again, you do whatever you want to do. You'd most likely do social funnel. So basically you just move all the social funnel down the road if need be.
Okay. Got it.
Questions, comments, concerns, thoughts?
What is the price range for that, or as far or the chart? What do you charge them? Like this guy here, like what does he charge?
I don't know exactly what you charge. I haven't asked my buddy yet, but I would assume it's comparable, man. I would assume it's like 5K for like 3 months. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's like 5K for 3 months, $1,000 a month, that the typical stuff.
Okay.
And again, the reason I'm suggesting is just it might be easier for you to pitch it, right? That's why I'm ultimately suggesting all this stuff. It's easier. So the 6 for 6 week is just going to be cheaper than the HVAC stuff, client acquisition.
Okay.
And it might be easier for you to pitch it because you're more familiar with how to pitch it than HVAC.
Yeah, I understand. I got more clarity. Thank you.
Questions?
No, that's it. I mean, I got a clearer path on what to do. It was just a little bummed out. HVAC didn't work. Um, I don't know, like a waste of time. I guess I learned a lot.
Yeah. I I feel like whenever this happens, I'm like the guy that's got to come in and say positive stuff. But it is true in the sense that you do fail forward and you do learn, it is true. So I don't think it is a waste of time. And
Yeah.
it's fun at the end of the day.
Just wasn't cheap though.
Yeah, it was not cheap, for sure. Um, I guess, do you have anything you want to share either with me or Mason or maybe the other guys? Anything you want to chop it up with them about?
No, I was kind of curious about Rivera's. Even though I've let go of that niche, what his
Riviera is he's getting discovery call sales calls like you, but he's having a sales issue too.
okay. Well, I was curious what his discovery calls, what the average was.
Oh, his average cost.
Yeah, cost per lead or cost per book call. Book
Um,
ticket.
I don't know that I have his numbers. Um, I don't know if they're updated. Oh, there he is. He's hopping right now. Mr. Riviera, we were just talking about you. Rodarte was bad mouthing you. He was talking all this crap about you, man.
What happened? I didn't hear the.
He was
Ri-
like, I'm the better Daniel.
He's like, I'm the better Daniel. I'm the better HVAC agency owner. Get this other Daniel out of
And Californian, don't forget that.
in California.
You put us both in Orange County. Like we got it. It's a gravel pit. Jeez. Oh, you guys are looking at my. I was just updating that right now.
Rodarte was just asking how you were doing, how your numbers and everything were looking. And I was telling, I think your numbers in terms of booked calls, what are your costs? Cost per book call is not bad. Not bad at all. Um, it's really the sales that we're working on that I told Rodarte, and I think we're still in the case. So yeah, I mean, you want to be at 30%, 20 to 30%. So you've had 7 bats. We got 3, 4 more to go. And then I think, it takes you about 15 calls to really say anything. But you know, uh, there you have it, Rodarte. Is he better than you, or are you better than him?
The average is 80. I mean, honestly, that doesn't matter. It's just I was curious if he was closing or my cost per just my average cost booked discovery call is 70/21.
Your cost per book call was 70.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your cost? What's your cost for live sales calls?
For live sales calls, 416.
Yeah, both of you guys. I mean, it's just it's a relatively. I don't know that it's an expensive. Actually, no. Yeah, I don't think it's expensive. I think these are normal. You guys got to just close at a high rate and charge a high amount to make these numbers work.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well,
So if you're spending $2,400, you got to be charging at least. You got to be making at least 10 grand from that client, because 25% should go into ads, right? 25% of your cost is ads, 25% maybe um, staff, and other 50% is profit margins. So Dan, you got to close some deals, buddy. Close some deals, make these numbers work.
yeah, I'll get those I'll turn those ads back on and get it up.
I have a sales call tomorrow morning, so sounds more warm than anyone I've talked to so far. So hopefully I could dig in there. But a lot of it's just like the new slides. Like I'm just so used to the dental pitch deck that it's a little bit of a rough transition, but I feel like I finally got a little bit of it edited the way I want to. But yeah, I just need to. I think I know what I need to work on now since I've gone through 7 calls, but it's just like putting it into practice, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Um, what specifically did you want to go over on today's call?
Oh, it's my turn.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I talked about like, now that I'm getting book discovery calls, like, I guess one thing is like, um, I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like I'm like, is my pitch deck enough? I feel like sometimes it isn't, but I don't know if there's anything that Rodarte or Cam is doing in their pitch decks. But I feel like when it comes to the slides and it shows like the system and all that, I feel like I don't know, I don't feel like it's enough.
You want to pull it up?
Yeah, I'll pull it up here. Give me 1 second. Uh,
Okay.
in
So
here. If you need the link too, I could get it to you, but
actually, yeah, if you want to, then I
yeah.
can.
Uh, and I'm still kind of working through some stuff that I'm editing right now, but this is kind of where it's at right now.
Yeah. So if you want to stop sharing your screen, I can share mine. We can run through it together.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So page 1. So I'll kind of run through this and maybe you can kind of tell me like if you feel clear on it, if you have questions.
For sure.
Page 2, how are you feeling about that?
Um, I kind of get the gist of that, just kind of framing it so before you get to the next slide.
Yep. So qualifications.
Um, are those good? I feel like the A is kind of like redundant, but like have you worked with clients in the past? Like for B, like how many work trucks do you have? I know Service Titan, which is like a big HVAC type of software, asked that question like right off the rip. So I was thinking like putting that in there.
So the
Um,
purpose of these questions is, are they closable for you? So how many clients have you worked with clients in the past? That's not going to help you determine whether they're going to be closable or not.
mhm.
So I don't think that this is like a question that's actually going to help you. How
Yeah.
many trucks do you have? Um, I don't know that this is going to help you either. Because it's like what you're doing here is you're seeing like that's a question you can ask on a discovery call. I don't think you
Mhm.
necessarily ask that here. Are you willing to focus on installs? Like, so this would matter if this is like all you do in terms of like running ads. Like you don't do anything else. Like
Mhm.
for example, Jeremy does semaglutide for med spas. If a med spa comes to him and says, "Hey, I do Botox," he's gonna be like, "I can't help you. I specialize in semaglutide."
Mhm.
So I don't know that this is something that's gonna help you right now. Can you allocate 1 hour for onboarding this upcoming Monday? This could be because okay, pop quiz. Why could this work for you? Why could this be a good question?
Um, I don't know. It's like framing it like we are moving forward with it.
There you go. That's why. It's because you're saying, hey, look, can you do an onboarding starting on Monday? If they tell you, for example, no, I can't do it. I can't do an onboarding until like next Thursday. You're like, oh, well, I'm looking for somebody that could start on Monday. Are you telling me that you can't start till Thursday? Because that's all what I'm looking for. You give them a little bit of pushback. So
Mhm.
this is a good question. Do you see how this does it, but these three don't have that effect?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So this is
Yeah, it makes sense like on what you're asking. Yeah.
all you care about is like, hey, can I sell this person or not?
Hmm.
That's all you care about. So these questions don't do that.
Sure.
Can you presentation or this is a good one. Do you currently have this is a good one? So yeah, I like these three. I don't
Okay.
necessarily need these three, so I would probably get rid of them actually.
Okay.
Um, Go high level. I have this because I need people to use our links because the affiliate commission pays for our coaching program. It covers some of the costs. So I don't necessarily know that you need this either,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
Question.
that makes sense. It felt like it was a lot, like I was going through for like just redundant. It didn't feel like I even felt like when I was going through it, it didn't like have impact, other than like some of the questions about like the ones you liked. I felt like, yeah, I don't know. I just had an off feeling about it, so it makes sense now.
Yeah. So here's the thing I'll say to you. Remember how I spoke to you the other day and and the guy was like, so I've heard from you like two or three times that you get to the very end and then they say, oh, this, that, they weasel their way out, right?
Hmm.
That. So what I want you to do is I want you to get my brain's a little bit fuzzy. I don't remember all those.
Hmm.
The purpose of these questions is to prohibit that from happening. Make sense? So I
Yeah.
want you to go back to those three, four separate cases, and then instead of these questions that you have on there, I want you to reframe the question. You can ask me like, "Hey, Kushi, here's what happened. Here's the objection I got, and here's the question I put in here to prevent that from happening." That's my
Hmm.
homework.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, this the point of this is again just to get them emotionally aroused and find out that core thing. I really like what Jeremy said the other day, where he said a few weeks ago, a month or so ago, he's like he'll find one thing and he'll really attach himself to that one thing and make the conversation about that. Just the other day, I had a conversation with somebody. He hopped inside a coaching program, and then he said that he's in a place where he's trying to pursue medicine. He's actually a videographer full time, makes 4,000 a month. He's trying to become a physician, a psychiatrist. Now that I know that, I'm going to hold on to that for dear life. I'm going to make the entire conversation about that. Right.
Yeah.
So same thing applies here. Is like find out one thing, right? That's the key. Find out one thing. Do you have questions on this slide?
Other than should it say like when he sees these slides and it actually shows objections and like you know how you type in because you got that
Oh,
from the discovery call, like should it have some of that stuff there? Because I don't
this stuff,
know, I see the words assumed and actual. I don't want to offend them or
are you talking about the stuff that I'm highlighting right now?
no, just like the stuff on the slides or the actual stuff on the slide in terms of like the verbiage and
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So you should be putting in here like before the sales call, your own wording.
own wording. Okay.
So I just have this as like a placeholder. You don't
Yeah.
necessarily come in here and yeah, solution tried in the past, actual like yeah, you don't need to yeah, you don't want
Sure.
to be offended.
For sure.
Question.
Okay, I just wanted to get some clarity on that.
And so you talk to him, get him emotional, and you go, all right, I'll tell you what, John, I do I think can help you. Um, Explain here's what happens next. So, and then you go into your whole presentation, meet Chris, and so you'll have to add the photo
Yeah,
in
I'll have to
here.
add a photo there.
They were stuck in the rat race. So you need to tweak this up. Not reliable, so generating high quality clients. So again, as you speak about this, make sure you customize it to the things that they're telling you. Right. So do you have questions on this part? Like, do you feel like this part is like, I don't know if I have the right thing yet, or
Um, I feel like it's good for what I have. Like, I don't think I could make anything better unless I actually got some client and got some real stuff. But I feel like it's fine for now.
I guess what I'm saying is like you said, like, oh, I feel like it's empty or bare, or I feel like it needs XYZ.
Hmm.
That's my I feel like we need to add anything. Do you have confusion on any of the stuff, or is there anything I can,
Um,
or are you referring to maybe this stuff here where you feel like, oh, this I feel like this could be better.
yeah, maybe the ad stuff because sometimes they'll look at the ad stuff. Like today, I got one that was like, "Oh, do you do video?" And like maybe that's because of the Take 10 video, which obviously is an issue. But I mean, I've only had it once asked, so maybe it's a non-issue. But um, I mean, I get it. Simplify, something complex is Facebook Ad Manager and all the systems we do, like this is pretty much us simplifying it. But I just recently added those just to kind of give it some more.
I think
Um,
need to be switched.
maybe those switched on.
Yeah. So that you go over this or take 10 system. This is like a holistic thing. Like this is what we do. And then when you come to
Hmm.
this, you're showing them specifically, okay, so what we do is we run winning offers. Um, so what I like about this is like this has to be specific. So this is
Hmm.
good. Like this part is good because you're saying it's AC blowout sale. Here's why this works. You have to show the unit. And then so for example, I saw this guy, Sam Darby, the other day saying people run these ads say 50% off and it doesn't work. What you have to do is you have to say 50% off. It was previously this price and now it's this price. And so he was explaining that to me in the YouTube video, and I was like, oh, that actually makes a ton of sense. So I had an epiphany moment. So the idea is you have to give people an epiphany moment as you're going through. That's the key. So if I were you, I would make a mental note of that or write that down. They must have an epiphany as you run through this. They must be like, oh shit, I didn't think about it that way. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's dope. I see why this works. And so this part right here, you have to really do something about this. Like you can't just be like,
Hmm.
oh, like why is this winning? Why does this work? So you have to convince them of
Yeah.
that. And it has to be like specific. So, and then when I say sell big services, I don't know what that means. So you need to be very
Hmm.
specific about that.
Hmm.
Everything seems very like generic other than this thing. So you need to
Hmm.
make so there's got to be something unique about this. Cam, do you have yours pulled up by any chance, man?
Yeah, I actually just finished my script yesterday. Like I mean, I'm getting weird with it, but yeah, I'll pull mine up right now.
Just really quick, I think it'd help.
Um, yeah, I'll pull up my. This might help you, Daniel. Actually, I have it where every single slide. As soon as I see the slide, I say all these things like word for word, ums and ahs, and it goes through every single one of my slides. Like it's stupid long. I practiced yesterday and it takes me around 25 minutes total just from reading like calmly and taking my time. All the way from like the first word to the last word. So it's like impossible for me to mess up. And I do this so I
Yeah.
know that I'm saying everything that I wanted to say the way I want to say it for its exact
Yeah.
intended purpose. Especially if I have a hiccup on the same point, I know exactly what that is. And I know what to look at because I know exactly what I said. But this is what it looks pretty similar to yours. This is the difference between yours and mine, I think.
See
And
how
then,
specific this is what I want to show. He could have like Cam could have like more visuals like you do, but Cam has actually done it, right? This is the actual system he uses to get his client results. So he's when he speaks, there's so much conviction. It's like, hey man, here's what we're doing in terms of ads, the before and after. Here's why this works so well. He can just speak about it, and it just naturally comes
Yeah.
off. But see how
well,
specific.
so what I do is at the very bottom of this, I have all these links. I have like 15 links that I open up, and they're each chronologically ordered so that
Hmm.
when I get to this section, there's a certain section here that's not my slide. See how it's like a screenshot of Slack in the email that you get. These are all the
Yeah.
tabs that I have open. So, um, this is the section where I get into like my mechanism stuff, right?
Hmm.
Sorry. Right here. So as soon as I hit this, I say all this stuff to kind of jump into like what the ad is, and then I kind of break it down and like this is exactly what the ad looks like. So at that point, I'll have all those links opened up. But for that sake, like I open up. This is the one that I would open up for that. So I actually do show them visuals, but instead of having pictures, I actually go into this is literally the exact same campaign, the same ad, same everything that we're gonna run for you. And this is exactly what we ran from Michael. And hopefully I made a video where hopefully they were gonna watch it before they actually hop on the call, which is on the thank you page, where it shows like Michael's results, um which is this. So I'm like, this is exactly what Michael achieved by doing this exact same campaign. This is exactly what we're going to build into your business. The exact same. These are Michael's results. So pay attention. Here's exactly what the process looks like. And that's how I kind of go through it. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, I can send it to you if
Yeah.
Go
That'd
ahead,
be
go ahead.
helpful. Yeah. I feel like, yeah, I have a lot of the kind of the bare bones stuff, but when it comes to like the stuff that will really make them like lean forward in their chairs, I feel like that's where I'm lacking. So
This part
yeah,
right here is like this is where you're telling somebody like, hey, you're coming in for a back surgery, and here's exactly what my step-by-step like thing is. First, I'm gonna cut here, and then I'm gonna do this. You can't like deny this. You can't like fake this. They have to sit back and be like, holy shit. Cam, you were saying something. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. And what I did here was I just made this campaign um, in like my physical thing. So
Mhm.
I literally showed them Michael's before, like my clients whose that is, before, but somehow it tweaked things up and did weird stuff. So I decided to make it in my own thing, but it's the exact same, just so in case something does happen, I'm not even using that campaign. That's just like a
Yeah,
little tip that I just wanted to give real quick, but
no,
So
that's helpful.
as I bring this up, this is like it's very obvious to me like why you have uncertainty doubt if you don't do this. And I'm guessing you're probably not doing it at this level. And
No.
is I the reason Cam knows this, by the way, it's not your fault, is I told him what to check out. So Cam, can I get the screen back, man?
oh yeah, sorry.
So I am going to send you this www.cheatcode.com/, 24K. Thank you. So this is a funnel I had. And back in the day, people opt in application, and this is a thank you page. I said, hey, before our sales call, you need to watch this video. Hello, hope you're doing well. Being safe out there. I am super. So this is like visually, it kind of looks like Cam's thing. So you're kind this is what Cam's doing. I'm literally showing people like, okay, this is the exact ad, and then it goes to this counter page, and then these are the like you can't fake this. And you show step by step by step. And this is the thing. You must do it, and you must do a fantastic job. This I would say is more important than like all the social proof, all that stuff, like this right here, because you can't bullshit this. So
Mhm.
I will send this to you. I would encourage you to give this video a watch. You're basically doing this during that stage. And if you
Mhm.
do it the right way, you basically kill uncertainty doubt. Um, yeah.
Cool.
Make
So
it
I could probably just use that. Remember when I ran a fake HVAC company and then I ran leads and I got leads? I do have some good metrics too, and I could kind of show the ad manager side, kind of like similarly to Cam's, like the actual ad inside, like the preview of like what it would look on Facebook feed, and actually have a landing page built out, so I could probably just show that too in like conjunction, you know.
exactly. My suggestion is come in here, give this video a watch, see what I did. If Cam feels comfortable sharing like a call with you that he's done, you'll see how he does it. Um, and so that part is just it's super crucial. So that's a big shift that we want to make. So swap this to this. So this is your first page, and then this page. This should take you a solid like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes to run through all the stuff. And you should see their eyes light up. You should, yeah. If you don't see any of that, don't move on. This is it. This
Yeah,
is the holy
the
grail.
mechanism page, and then this is like kind of the excuse we can use to start opening up the tabs, like to make it make sense too, right? So
And your tabs, by the
this
way,
is where.
I
Oh, sorry.
laugh I laugh at Mason all the time. I tell him like, hey, your tab game is weak. So you seen my ugly mug again. Um, so you know you want to have the tabs like taken care of and cleaned up. So for me, if I'm going through
Uh-huh,
six, boom, I got this, everything's ordered. So yeah, you want to have everything in order.
for sure.
Okay, so that's a big change we can make. What is going on this page?
Um,
Okay, I
just to
see.
kind of show cost per lead kind of thing.
So this is not bad, but again, if you have something like Cam, if you have
Mhm.
go into your ads manager and show like a bunch of it,
Mhm.
that's going to be convincing than something like this to
Yeah.
start. Okay, so yeah, I see what you're doing here.
Yeah, it's
I
kind of
would
from Amon, so shout out to Amon. But back in the way back in the day, he showed me. He might not be using these slides anymore, but
maybe, but yeah, you take this slide, this slide, this slide, and you put it all in here. So you should really just have two slides instead of having like all these slides. You should just have
yeah.
you start with one, and then it goes right into this, and you spend 15 minutes going through all this stuff. So you want to, yeah. So add, it goes here and then it goes here. Yeah. So explain the whole thing. You can get rid of the slide. And so after you've done that, then you say, okay, well, here's the proof, right? So after you do that, here's what the numbers should look like. And then you crunch some numbers with them,
Hmm.
ROI. Take 10 University. Cool. 10 Vault. Yeah. So questions. Those are the big things I'm seeing that you can shift. Aside
Hmm.
from obviously like tweaking up, adding some photos and stuff like this, but
For final slide, because I'm used to like having a text box, but this is kind of already like a templated thing, so I can't really move words around like the total value and stuff. Should I just make it from scratch, or I'm curious, like, how are you doing it, Cam, to where you actually type in like because you kind of go, I don't know if you're using it, Cam, but like the whole flow that you kind of talk, Koshik, where it's like it's 2083 a month, and then and then
oh,
but
I don't, I don't text or type anything. I just say it.
okay.
So I get down here and I just like hover on the screen just to build up the anxiety.
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, so do you have something to write on? They say, yeah. It's like, okay, cool. So here's what it is. And I don't type anything. I don't change the price. I don't do anything.
You just say it verbally?
You know,
Okay.
do it, force yourself to do it the right way. Doing it verbally is analogous to shooting with a prime lens. You have to get it done. You have to dial it in and do it right.
Gotcha.
Okay, cool. I think Aman is here. Yeah, there he is. Okay, cool, cool. Sounds good. But yeah, Riviera, what else is bringing your head?
I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, I think I just need to build like something to where I know what to say. Because the hard part is like, yeah, I've tried kind of looking off the screen to a second monitor. I feel like it's a little obvious. I'm gonna try looking down, kind of like an iPad, but I definitely gotta like tweak some things. But yeah, if there's Cam, you said you look kind of down, like you have the laptop on your lap or something.
Yeah, I wish there was an app out there where it's like you have what you're sharing on Zoom on the same monitor, and then you have stuff that they can't see. That would be killer. For me, it's kind of like
Hey,
I have my laptop here.
Uh-huh.
hey, Cam,
Hmm.
there's my son's a gamer. He gets on
Hmm.
Twitch all the time. And so I've seen this thing made by Elgato that is like a screen you attach to your, I don't know how it works. I'll see if I can find it and I'll send it and put it in the value drops or send it to you. But it like if he's on Twitch, it actually takes the chat off of Twitch and puts it like up above the monitor so he can do both and see it better. And it also works as a teleprompter and stuff like that. It's like $250, but it's essentially like giving you an extra little monitor. Um, Another thing you could do is like I have this monitor I'm looking at now, but I also have this monitor plugged into my computer. And these are like 50 or $60 on Amazon.
Right.
So you could just give yourself a second monitor for almost nothing and you put them side by side and so
I use my laptop, so I do have like a second monitor. Like I have my demo up top, which is everything I'm sharing on Zoom, and then below I have just the Google Doc with like my whole script and slides. So I can
yeah.
like see two things. What I was kind of talking about is like the same monitor, because for me it's kind of like I don't like my eyes to be going like this. It'd be nice if I was like looking into their eyes the whole time and just killing it,
Yeah.
rather than going up and down, or like even if it's just my pupils. Um, I'm sure there's something out there, but for now, yeah, Daniel, that's all I
Yeah.
do. I just pull up my laptop and I
Really
try to
bad.
only look at my laptop. So to them, maybe my camera's just in a shitty spot, but my
Mhm.
monitor is down here. But
Another,
sometimes I have to
have you
look up and
ever
it's like, oh,
Mhm.
have you seen that there are two other cameras you can look at? One's called Center Cam, which is just a camera that will drop literally down into the middle of your screen. There's another thing, I forgot the name of it, where they make it where you can put the other one is called Osbot, OSBOT, and it follows you. So that might be another option for you. So I don't know, just throwing
Thanks,
some
Jeremy. I'll
ideas
look
out
into
there
that.
for you.
Thanks, Jeremy.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel like I get overwhelmed easy, but yeah, yeah, if you don't mind, Cam, maybe I don't want you to have to share everything, but maybe whatever you think's best, like for me to feel like, because if I just got like a glimpse of maybe the demo Bible, I could kind of be like, okay, I need to recreate that slide in my own way. Okay, I see how you do the
I'll give it
photo.
all to you, and then I think it's HVAC and duct cleaning, so they're pretty similar. I think you just have to change
Mhm.
out like the actual
That'd
duct
be
cleaning with
that'd be
HVAC
super
and stuff.
helpful. That'd be
Yeah,
super.
it took me forever. I haven't tried it yet, so I might be giving you something that doesn't work, but I mean,
I
I'll
mean,
give it to you if you want.
I think I would be tweaking it a lot myself in the sense that to
Yeah.
make it work for, because some of my stuff is like a little custom, but it would help me get on track, I feel. So that would be helpful.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
will. Me and Mason said this like I think last coaching call, the one before, and when Cam shared what he's doing, me and Mason called him a psycho. He is he's like literally slide by slide, word by word, by It is nuts, but have fun with
No,
it.
that's literally what the thing is. My brain is trying to get there because I'm actually that stuff is actually what I need the structure for sure. I feel like if I don't have the structure, there's a lot of nuance that can happen on each call that I can't predict because I just forgot something, right? So I like Cam, the fact that you have written stuff out is just so that you could kind of have like a standard kind of like call that you can just build on.
Yeah. I might try it once and want to
And
kill
change the whole
myself. I don't
thing.
know. But I'll send you both my copies because the first one I just did like off the top of my mind what I know I want to put down based off of Kaushik's notes and like just fit it in there and then tweaked
For
it to
sure.
make it for me. And then I made a second copy called like the shortened version where I just put it into AI and said, this is what I'm doing. This is what the script is for each slide individually. Shorten it, cut out any repetition, and keep in what makes sense in order to complete the sale for whatever the intent purpose was. I'll send you both copies. The shortened one is just like the one that I put into AI, so it's quicker and
Yeah.
it's like just straight to the point. Everything that I want to say is all that I say, rather
Yeah.
than like my own mind fluff. So I'll send you both, and then you can just do whatever you want.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And if I have any calls or if I'm using it and I can come up with some cool things too, I'd definitely share it with you.
Yeah, yeah, sweet. Do you want the demo as well, or you got the demo? Because I have like all the different slides. Maybe you could like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it would be a lot helpful for sure. I'd
Yeah,
agree.
yeah, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, thanks, Cam.
Yep.
But I mean, that's pretty much is just like trying to get the structure and the flow down. Because I think if I get lost, it kind of loses my steam. I feel like I lose my confidence on the call. So I think if anything kind of builds up my confidence and it gets me structure, I feel like I can feel more at ease and I can feel like I'm more, just giving value and kind of just showcasing, right, versus me in my head. So
Yeah, yeah, give it a shot. Give it a shot. See if that works for you. And we'll revisit. Do you have any sales calls lined up to have or
tomorrow morning, yeah,
okay. All right, good, good. All right, so yeah, practice, do what you can today, and then keep me posted. Let me Mason know how things go tomorrow.
for sure.
Um,
But yeah,
eh,
that's pretty much it.
okay, cool. All right. I did that. So I think I'm on your next. You next. Uh, yeah. I'm on. Are you there? Is he there?
Yeah,
Oh,
what's going
awesome.
on?
Chilling, man. We were talking about you a little bit before you hopped in, and Jeremy's like, Jeremy, do you want to share with Aman what you've cracked? He's Jeremy's done some cool shit, man. For what's
Well, yeah, I don't know if I cracked it, but I've been working with Alpida Amon because I've been asking you for some advice here and there, so maybe I can't take all the credit, but she and I have put together a really nice little funnel that seems to be working very well. She's gotten 6 or 7 sales out of it just in a few days. So it seems to work, and so you and I just we don't have to take up everybody's time here. If you want to see it, I'll be happy to. You and I can do a Zoom call, and I'll show you for the low price of $4,000. No, I would show it to you, and you can just look at it and see what you think. I can show you all the automations we created, but it seems to be working really well. Now it's very specific to what she does and how she offers it, so
Right.
it might not all work to you. But this
his
lady is
cost,
staying.
his cost per acquisition? I'm gonna guess what his cost per acquisition is.
I don't even know. I'm scared to know. Is it less than 100?
Dude, it's $12.
Oh, you know
It's
what,
it's I'm sure it's just I'm sure it's
Jeremy?
just
Jimmy, let's do it for 5,000. We have a deal.
I sold. Um yeah, I'm sure a lot of it just has to do with the fact that it's New Year's. Everybody's got a New Year's resolution. And the other thing is, which is what I love about this lady compared to some of the other people I worked with, I was telling everybody, she's like a shark. When there's blood in the water, she goes and gets them, man. She's not waiting around. She has me making phone calls. I've got two VAs working with her making phone calls. But if there's even a hint of a possibility for a sale, she goes and gets them.
Right.
So I don't have to do a whole lot of following up. She just goes and does it. So it
There's
could be just her tenaciousness.
Yeah.
what and you might, so I just want to add in some details, Jeremy. I want to make sure we're painting a clear picture for Aman. But like, so I don't know if you noticed, but he's doing a sales objective instead of what you're doing, a lead, which is what we typically do. We typically do lead. He's doing sales, and at the ad set level, he's optimizing for conversions and complete registration. So he's
Okay.
getting people to click the ad, and basically it's almost like an e-commerce website. Go there, name your information, basically similar to you, get the book call, and then those people are converting. And so it's a lot of automation, no AI bot, no nothing. I mean, yeah, you do need the person to do the calls,
Sure.
but I mean, dude, $12 cost per conversion
That,
is, and now he's
yeah.
got something right. I was telling Jerry, I'm like, dude, you could niche down in just telehealth and just literally everybody gets the same website. Like he's at that level.
Yeah.
There's something to see where, with what you got going on and see if we can Frankenstein some. There's something there, Aman, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much are these people spending once they become acquired? Like, are they spending for like a 1 month, like month to month, or?
No, she's signing them up for 3 and 6 month plans.
Sheesh.
She doesn't even
Yeah, but
have a
$12?
one. Yeah. So
Insane.
now I don't know how she's doing it, but she's got probably the best prices on the internet that I've seen. So she's
Okay. So
doing a
it's like
six
three
month
months. So
bundle. Her 6 month bundle for semaglutide is $595.
what? Yeah, that's
So,
really low.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe she's not making any money. I don't know. But
Yeah. I'm really curious.
um,
Do you
anyway,
have,
I'm not asking her that because she's been very happy. So I just keep my mouth
Yeah.
shut.
Yeah.
Jeremy, one thing you've got to do, man, is you really have to come in here and you have to watch this video. Okay, this video is really important for you to watch for you and for her because you need to, there's an equation that I go over,
Yeah.
2 times CPA.
Yeah. I got it. I got it in my notebook, but I'm scared to show it with her in case it doesn't add up. So,
You got to figure that out. And what I'm saying though, and there's room here, like what you have figured out, I'm on where you're at. If you can sell something on the front end for very cheap, and then if you can add in a coaching program, you can add in semaglutide, injection shots, you can add in something for high ticket and make the numbers work. There's something here. So there's sauce here. There's something to be utilized. So anyways, I wanted to share that.
Jimmy, what's your front end offer? Is it the 6 months or are you selling like a 1 month thing and then
she,
upselling?
I don't know if I can, if she doesn't have, am I able to share my screen? My dog wants on the room.
All right, so
Um,
Your dog heard $12 acquisition cost. So
yeah, she's like, what? That's
yeah,
crazy.
that's crazy.
I stopped sharing my
Let me
screen.
Okay. So can you see this?
Yeah.
Here's her ad. Now, we had to take this little $500 off thing caused her ad to reject.
Oh wow.
So she wanted me to add that. I put that on there against my recommendations and it caused the ad to reject. So I changed that back to just say book now. But
Okay.
these are the ads I'm running. Now I'm only doing one right now. I'm just doing this one.
Right.
I wanted to try this one, and if it didn't work, we're going to switch to this one. If it didn't work, we're going to switch to this one, and then so we've got several variations built out. But this is the ad I'm running. I can show you. I wish I could just go to Facebook Ad Manager and not have to click on Get Started every single time.
Right.
That drives me nuts.
I have it bookmarked, so like you could bookmark this page and then when I click
And
on
it'll
it,
just go.
it just pops up. Yeah, it's so much faster. Same with Slack.
Okay. So here's what I've got set up for her sales. That's basically up to there. And then it's going to a website, maximize the number of conversions, complete the registration.
Uh-huh.
That's because that's the first thing they need to do. Her daily budget's $50. And then here's what I'm doing. She's only advertising in Atlanta or rather Georgia and Texas right now.
Hmm.
So I went to ChatGPT and I asked it to give me the 15 wealthiest zip codes in both states, and that's
Nice.
where I'm advertising to. The
Nice.
age, people who match these things. The placements, I'm only running basically the placements Koshik has recommended, just the feed, stories, reels, and that's it. And then the ad itself, nothing fancy. I had ChatGPT create this for me, which seems to be working pretty good. I used your information about skinny shots.
Hmm.
So, yeah. And then here's the ad. You can see it with just the book now instead of the $500 off. So that's all. And I've turned off all the AI stuff. I'm not letting any of that in. Um, I'll show you. I'll just kind of walk you through her. So when they first come in, they go to this page. And I installed an AI chatbot on here. We've already gotten some stuff off of that
Hmm.
where people ask a couple questions and then she gets an email saying so and so was talking to you about X, Y, and Z. You might want to call them back. But they go here and they just click on get started. And then it goes, we ask this question just before you begin. You can't have this if this is what so they hit. Now, if they're no, what are my options? You can call. And then if they're in a state that's not available, we put them in a wait list. If they say yes, they go here and fill out the information. Um, and then the next ones are just um, like they go in and pay $19 to schedule an appointment with her. Um, and
So
then they
did
select
they,
their
do they
time.
do they do the $19 on the online on their own?
Yes, that we got it set up through PayPal. So I'll
And so
just
these
show you
people,
like,
so
They're
these people,
they're already putting money in the game. Like they're putting some skin in the game right up front.
they're putting
yeah,
money. Part that's interesting, Aman. They're putting money there before a conversation is happening.
before anything starts, they have to do this. So to secure your spot today and speak directly with a member of the Teladoc team, 1999 is required to hold your appointment. This will be applied to your medication cost. Here's the little thing with that is the people she sold, they haven't asked for it back. So she's just keeping it because, it takes a lot of time for her. So there's that. They pay there. The
When do
next one,
where do you have the complete registration event installed? Which page?
um, I believe it's with that. It's with the payment. So once we have their money, that's where the complete registration event is, I believe.
So
Um,
it's you. I would assume that the complete registration event is going to be after they click and say they put their name, email, phone number. Actually,
it may be. That's one thing now that you say that, I haven't put the Facebook codes in.
oh
I
wow.
do have them in. So like if you go into an opportunity, so here's all her won people. These are all the ones she's won. Here are the two that are just hanging on. We're waiting to see. But like here's one that just came in today. So I can see they went to the page, get started, qualified, form submitted, contact, consultation. They haven't done the payment. I got to fix this because it's saying that they've submitted a payment and they haven't. But anyway, and then they go through the health questions. They say that they've read all the stuff, and then the final page they see is the thank you page. So what's been happening though, if you look at it, so when they fill out that first form, they come in here, and these are the people who filled out the form and they did not pay the 1999. They stopped. So
Mhm.
these are the people the VAs are calling. These are
So
people who go ahead.
yeah, so I was just gonna. You were probably gonna answer the question I was gonna ask you.
The customer follow-ups, these are three people we've spoken with who said, can you call me in 2 weeks? I'm waiting on a paycheck or whatever. Now we have financing available for them, but these people said, no, I'd rather do it on my own. So these are people we're going to call back with. these are people, this column is, or stage is for people who have, they have too many questions or they booked directly in the calendar and they'll go to Alpida. So if the VA is talking to somebody and they start asking a bajillion questions that the VA can't answer, or they want to do the financing, we move them over into the Teladoc staff stage and Alpida takes care of them from there. This is the booked consult with the doctor. So this is either Alpida or the VA went all the way through, they picked their medication and they've got an appointment with the doctor. The one is they've paid, they're done with the doctor, and medicine is on the way. The lost is people who told us to get lost. Everybody who we can't get in touch with, we move them into a long-term marketing list where we're going to create email lists and text campaigns. And then we have the wait list for the unavailable states where we have one person in there wanting, they want to know when it's available for them. So that reminds me, I got to fix those Facebook codes. But anyway, that's the flow. I mean,
I would say actually, Jeremy, before you fix any codes, I was like, it's like the Pixel, or it's like the Facebook ad. You touch it and you break everything. So
yeah.
if you do, either we can do it right now, or if you want to message me later, we got to figure out how you set up the events. And then my suggestion is actually just don't touch it. Even if
Okay.
you don't touch it, because that could break everything.
Yeah, and you did see, you probably saw, let me see if I can get it to re-trigger. Like right here, your ad may not be optimized for conversions because we haven't received any activity from your pixel, which is weird because I have that set up. He has a
Yeah.
couple of them, so maybe I've got the wrong one set up. But
I'm thinking you got to set up the right way, and I'm guessing Facebook is just drunk right now. It happens to me all the time.
okay. You want to say hi to everybody? Come in. Anyway, it's been working great. While we've been talking, that's a new one right there, this Robin Minner. I got one for myself for tomorrow. So things are working good right now. I just got to get these other people set up and hopefully get them, flying like she is. But I got to tell you, man, I mean, we didn't run an ad in all of December. She just worked me like a dog to get this thing like it's airtight. I mean,
Yeah.
every if then possibility is thought of. She thought of everything.
Yeah.
So
Is everyone on the one column a 6-month client, or are some of those like 3
I don't
months?
I don't know. I need to get her to start filling in the opportunity value. I would like to know that myself, but she takes care of that part of it. So that's why I don't know the value, and I don't know these people. I never spoke to them. So, but she's doing very well. I mean, you can see now she did run ads for 4 days back in Black Friday. So that's why she has 57 opportunities, because back then we were just doing a Facebook form. So I told her, Koshik, I had a very good conversation with her about, now listen, when we go to this funnel, when we go into instead of leads, when we're doing conversions, the numbers are going to drastically stop. We're not going to be getting 10 leads a day like we were last time. We'll get 2 or 3, but these are people who are going to be interested, and it's been working. So yeah, we're getting maybe 2 or 3. Oh, well, this one, while we were sitting here, this one's moved over. So she must have got on the phone with them. See how quick she is?
Yeah.
I mean, while we're talking, Robin Minner was over here a minute ago. Now she's booked a consult with, so she's beating me to the punch. I can't even get on some of these.
Really
So
quick,
there's
Jeremy,
another one.
I want to stress, I would not be messing around with stuff. The pipeline that you created, it looks like this was the pipeline you had when it was a lead form. You always have one pipeline per like campaign type. So technically you should build a brand new pipeline. At this point, again, maybe just leave it because you
Okay.
don't want data. Like you want to keep it clean. Like, okay, what was the conversion? What was the numbers, everything when you're lead form versus this? Like, what is all the numbers? So now your data is skewed because you're mixing and matching.
Yeah.
Just keep that in mind for the
Okay.
future.
Okay. Good idea.
One thing you could do is you could like duplicate the pipeline and then you could like take whoever doesn't belong here and just delete them. That's possible. Again,
Okay.
just be careful. Don't mess around with too much stuff.
Yeah. But she's I mean, wow, I'm kind of shocked she already did that one.
So
Yeah.
So it sounds like the call is only for people that do not pay on their own. So the people that pay on their own, No need for a VA, no
I
need for
never even, no, they go right to her and
interesting.
then she takes care of it. The only one my VAs or me will talk to are the one in the form submitted column. That's it. So
And then
today I called both of these people and I just put a little note in there saying called and left a message at what time.
so if you
So
call somebody and you can get them to pay, you move them over to book consult, or like when does somebody move over to customer requested follow-up versus booked consult with doctor?
okay, so with Mason's help, I have been able to set, so let's say Kim Ozuna here filled out the form, they'll initially show up here, but if they go in and make a payment and book a calendar, they go over here automatically. We don't even have to touch it. So it just moves over. We've got an automation set up so that Kim would just automatically come over to Alpida's column. We move them over here. So for instance, this Ernestine Montez, I talked to her yesterday.
I see.
Let
I
me
see. I
just
understand.
pull it. So yeah, I moved her over here because she told, she gave me all this information and said she wants me to call her back on the 18th of January. So I've got it set up in there and on my calendar to call her. Same thing with these people. They just wanted information or need some time before they buy.
So
So
how long? So once somebody submits a form, are you guys calling right away, or are you guys letting them do their thing and pay online before you call them?
yeah, we wait. If it shows up in there, I wait just for a little while because they might be in the middle of filling out that pay or selecting stuff, filling out the health questionnaires. So generally, the way we've been doing it is the VAs are going to call at 11 o'clock and 6 o'clock every day. So,
Interesting.
but some of these we can't, like I said, I can't get to them because she's already called it and obviously moved this person over into the book with the doctor. So like I said, she's very hungry for this to work. So she beats me to stuff all the time, and I don't have a problem with that. She doesn't either. It seems like so.
You can try the 6 o'clock, 11 o'clock. My suggestion from what I've seen, again, I'm just giving you a suggestion here, is if I were in your shoes, I would set things up where I would give it a timer. Like I would figure, like for example, one thing I did is I figured out, I looked at the time step when people bought my low ticket product versus my upsell. And I found out that the average person, just I'm telling you, there's like a 4 minute video to watch going through all the copy. It's like a 10-minute decision. What I found through my studies is that people just upsold and they usually buy within like 30 seconds. So they would buy the low ticket thing and then they would just see it like, oh, I'm just gonna buy it. So like people that are buyers are just buyers, people that are not buyers. Anyways, I'm sharing with you like what I learned. And so based off of that, I'm willing to bet if you do the research, you'll come to find how long it takes on average for somebody to be a buyer. And so if that number, for example,
Okay.
is minutes, if that number, for example, 7 minutes, what you should do for your VAs is probably set up some kind of automation where at the 8 minute or 9 minute mark, they are then to call.
The only thing that'll be hard with that is it's my wife who's going to be running her boutique, and Noelle has another full-time job. So that in talking with Alpita, she was good with the 11 to 6, but we may, as because I've told her, eventually, Alpita, you're going to have to get your own VA. This is going to get too big. If that form submitted thing turns into there's 50 people sitting in there, those two, we can't call them. It'll be impossible. So, anyway, and she's okay with that. But yeah, right now she beats the VAs because
Good.
she wants it to work. So,
Alman, um, one thing I guess like I wanted to make sure both you and Jeremy were here so we can all kind of like master and kind of talk about this together. But I guess Jeremy, like, what were your specific questions for Alman in terms of like AI stuff?
I just wondered how it was working. I know at one point, it's been a couple months now, you were testing it. And have you actually tried it with customers and does it work? Or are you finding VAs and a real live voice is better still?
So
How's it going?
I've seen, so from what I've seen across a few clients have been about a 40% pickup rate, which is like great from like calling leads. I've seen around like 12 to 14% booking appointments. So people who go through the whole call and agree to book an appointment at a certain time, the biggest problem I'm dealing with right now is that those people will completely ghost after that call. Like it's weird. So after that AI call, it sends a text, and this was for me to know if like people were just agreeing just to get off the phone or if they actually were interested. So what I did was after the call ended, it sends a text saying, "Hey, it's Victoria. I'm just setting up your account right now for your appointment. Can you send me your name, email, and phone number?" And a lot of people will like actually send that information over, but then as soon as they try to call like for the deposit or they text for the deposit, it's like you don't hear it from them. And so I've been seeing a lot of like so it'll be like half the people will reply, half the people won't after. And so like I'm seeing a really good like booking rate in terms of like 14%. I would say that's pretty good for it being like AI. But I was saying like right now it's kind of like crashing after that part. So I'm just trying to figure out the best. Like that's like really what I'm trying to go over with in terms of Koshik. So like I'm actually testing
Hang
one.
on, just hang on one second. So just make sure I understand you. Sorry to interrupt you. So it's calling them, they're answering and talking to it. They get off the phone, they get a text going, "Hey, we're just setting up your account." They send that information over, but then when it's time to actually put money on the line, is it going through a text or back to the voice AI?
So the AI can't collect the deposit over the phone, so it's through a text. So we have the AI mention like what's gonna happen next is that we're gonna send you a text just to get some information from you so we can create your account. So please look out for that. After that, we're gonna send a direct link for a deposit that's
Oh, okay.
it's gonna go towards the 97. So you'll if you show up, you'll only pay 72. And so please make sure to take care of that form. Um, take care of that deposit. So I'm actually going to test one where we don't ask for a deposit and just be a little bit more aggressive in terms of if you don't show up, you'll get red flagged in our system. That'll prevent you from being. So I'm gonna try that and see if it works any better. So that way they don't have to pay the deposit. So we'll see how that goes.
What
So
was it that
it's
you? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I was just so it's when that's where the hiccup is. That's where the kink in the hose is collecting the actual money.
Yeah,
And
like
that's
I would say,
everything I've read is that that's the problem with AI is nobody or a text is nobody wants to give the money to the AI or to the text.
right. And I think people are just skeptical. They want to see this completely random place that I think it's awesome that you're getting them to like pay up front because that's like the biggest thing that my clients are struggling with right now. And I'm sure
Yeah.
like there's a quite a high like hang up rate as well. A lot of times I just tell my clients like, hey, make sure you call those people and like still give them a call because like I saw one client who was still getting a lot of them to like become booked appointments just because they just want to talk to a real person. So like, um, so I mean, even then, I see that's a win. I see when the AI basically when they tell the AI like, "Hey, I'm at work. Can you call me back later?" That's up to my clients at that point. So like, I see that as a win too because now like there's someone who said, "Can you give me a call?" I don't know what the post call me back rates are, meaning like if they pick up when the clients call them back later. But yeah, that's the biggest thing right now. So I'm just trying to find the biggest way to get the show up rates higher. But I'm pretty like 13%, 40%, I'm pretty happy with in terms of like an AI doing that automatically. So
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's yeah. I mean, that's just kind of what I wanted to know is how was it going, and did you find it to be successful and worth it so far for all the effort you put into it?
yeah,
Well,
I would say right now, like I think my clients have gotten a little bit better results when it was just the texting because they're forced to do the calling themselves. So like again, I think like it's almost there where it can be a really big help, but I right now it feels like it's kind of like a hindrance on the booking, on the actual show up rate.
Yeah.
when
Okay.
so a few questions. So as I look at this, first of all, it's telling me that if we compare apples to apples here, then
Uh,
it's saying that, for the people that we do get booked, to 80% of them should show up.
right.
So right now, we are 20%, right? Like 2 out of 10. Is that right or no?
Um, I am not 100% sure because isn't like 2% show up rate?
I think you said I think it's 2% out of all the leads. I don't think it's 2% out of the people that
Oh,
have.
right. 80%. Yeah, I would say it's probably like 1 out of 5 right now.
So one
Uh,
out of five
Very
is
promising. Yeah.
so that means that like okay, so that means that we've got a bottleneck here.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to this stuff that he's talking about though, are they collecting a deposit or are they not collecting a deposit?
He's very like he mentions deposit a lot. So like they collect a deposit.
Is there a difference in terms of do you have any clients like Karen that when they do call and they collect the deposit on the call, they don't text it over, they collect the deposit on the call. Do you have
Uh,
anybody that does that?
Um, I don't know if I have too many people that do that. Like Karen kind of stopped. I'm sure I have a few instances where they actually did because I have heard it where they've like collected over the call. But they'll like my clients even mentioned like yeah, when I get to the part about the deposit, they'll like sometimes they'll hang up or they like that's where I lose them. So like they have better obviously results when they do it over the phone and they collect it. Um, but
So
I
I
also know Braden does it where he does the text to link. That's where I actually got it from, was from him.
I don't see, I mean this seems like not this seems maybe inflated. Like so you're telling me that 8 out of 10 people, so you have a conversation with 10 people, 8 out of those 10 people are paying the deposit and showing up. That doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
Does that make sense? So if you have a conversation with 10 people, 10 people say yeah, I send a link to all 10 of those people. I would assume like 6 of those people are going to pay the deposit, and then like 5 to 4 of them are going to show up because some people are still not going to show up.
Yeah. Yeah.
More me. So I think these numbers are not actually accurate.
Yeah. Because I've seen like anytime someone's paid a deposit with my clients, like almost all of them show up. But like I don't know how like if he's
I don't,
booking like 20 people, I don't know how he's getting so like all of them to pay a deposit.
dude, I don't believe this. I think
Yeah.
this is bullshit. I'm calling Graydon a liar.
He must be doing yeah, and I pretty sure I had my girlfriend call like one of like their clients and the call just felt so simple. Like it didn't feel like anything crazy. So like um yeah, I'm not sure. But
So my other question to you is this. So I know, so this is not shiny object syndrome. I'm just trying to understand here. What would prevent you from doing what Jeremy is doing, but running it locally? What would prevent you from doing that?
I love the idea that,
Is there anything that,
funnel
is there
can
anything that would make that not work?
I would say maybe the $25 a shot angle probably wouldn't work for a lot of my clients. Um I would say it's usually around like 70 to 80 if they buy a package. So like that's the hardest thing is like I would say the biggest thing that's preventing me is the fact that she's doing 6 months for like 600. That's like my clients do, like 1,000 for 3 months, So it seems like her margins are extremely, and one thing I'm trying to do is like we're actually combining with like local services or in-person services to increase the value so that they can sell it for like 1,500 or like 1,200. Um,
And just so you know, I'm on the $25. That's like if you look at it, it says per shot. So that's if you bought the $600 package, it's per week basically.
yeah, but still like 25 per week or like 600 for six
Yeah,
months
I'll
is
check with Alpita and see how she's doing that.
Can I
yeah.
can you just this would be beneficial. Jeremy, can you would it be possible? I want to study it, and I feel I don't want to get anyone's hopes up, but I feel like this is something that's copy and paste. But I feel like it's a way to make it work locally. I think so, especially to solve the hindrance that you have. It's not the price. I'm not worried about the price. I know we can upsell, downsell. I know we can bait and switch. I know that's all possible. The
Right.
issue that you're having is like the show up rate, the cost per like that. If we can reduce that, everything else we can fix. I can figure out how to get people to buy and spend more. That's not my. I'll figure that shit all day.
Right.
Jeremy, can you do me a favor and can you like drop a link to your funnel, because I don't want to mess up your, I don't want to go through and like mess stuff up. But if you can drop like each of the pages, that would be very beneficial.
Yeah.
And I'll look at your ad again one more time. And I promise you, I'll figure out a way to brainstorm and make this work for both telehealth and in person. I know there's a way.
Also, since you're doing like all the states, do you think maybe because you have so much more
You
options
can,
that has a big part?
Well, she's only doing Texas and Georgia. So that's part of it is but I, and I picked the wealthiest zip codes. Plus she did just recently add all of Dallas and all of Austin because those are
Right.
big semaglutide areas, I guess. But um
My
yeah, I
clients are
mean,
doing
she's
like
obviously her pool of people when I asked I got the Chat GPT to give me the zip codes. And then obviously when you add in Dallas and Austin, you're talking about several million people she's advertising to, as opposed to one little specific area. So she's got a much bigger pond with a lot more fish in it than if you're doing it locally.
what I would want to do is I would want to test it out locally just to see what those numbers are. And even if those numbers I'm on are not there, $12 is just fucking insane. Like it's just I've never heard anything like that in my life. But
right.
I mean, if you can get like $30 and they book on their own,
Yeah.
oh my God. Like that solves so many problems. It's worth it. $50 even. Fuck, $90. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Um,
Where do you want me to drop these links at, Koshik?
you can drop them just
You
uh
you
in
want me
our
to put them just a message to you and Amon?
um we can do it that way, yeah.
Okay, I'll throw Mason in there too. And
Yeah.
Yeah, like, cause like I always say as like there's always gonna be a few percentage of people who like purchase right away, but like if we do want the maximum number of bookings, we'll have to like still call the leads that didn't end up paying, you know?
Such a small number though. It's such a small number.
Yeah, I mean at least yeah, based on what I'm seeing here. Usually I see it the opposite way where it's like such a small percentage actually paid the thing and then the rest you just have to call. So it's like you're losing out on a lot if you just rely on like the booking. But I mean, here I'm seeing like such better numbers.
Yeah. I I'll look into it. I will look into it and I'll figure something out.
Yeah. Because I think funnels, like, there's something to funnels, and Selena uses funnels for her clients, and like it's pretty similar, and they basically just, yeah, and it seems like those people are getting really um, good results. So,
If you can send in that format, Jeremy, that would be very beneficial.
what's that?
If you look at my comments, it's page one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Kind of just follow along very
Well,
well.
it's for whatever reason, it's not letting me like it's putting in all the information with yeah. So I'll just add to it because it won't let me it
When you
won't let me just put as soon as I put a link in there, it puts the whole like metadata in there too.
so when you come in here and you put a link in, can you see my
Hmm.
screen here?
Yeah.
So what will happen is this stuff will populate down here. That's the metadata. You just click cancel and
Okay.
then I'll just do
Okay.
that.
I'll delete these and start over.
Can you just share your ad? I want to study that really quick.
the ad,
I
your ad, Jeremy, feel like it goes against my entire
I
philosophy of
know.
it. I'm
Remember
like,
when I shared them with you and I think I shared it with you or versions of it, and you and
I just threw up.
you said it's too much, and I was like, I tried to get her to go to the smaller ones, and she just won't do it. So, and I wasn't confident
it
enough to
feels like
say,
so it scares me seeing those ads, because I'm always like really explaining to my clients like it should feel organic, it should feel native to the platform. Like they shouldn't even realize it's an ad at first until they see the offer. And so like that's like my whole philosophy. So seeing yours literally being like click here, like that's what it feels like when I see it. And I'm like,
yeah.
man,
You're
But
gonna have to
if you look at
sales
if you
pitch.
look at a lot of the where would you just want the Canva version of it if I download and send it to you? Is that okay, Cushy? Or do you
Yeah,
want me to share it?
you can sharing it would be best because then we can look at it, see the engagement, kind of see how people are interacting with it.
Okay, so you want me to share it out of Facebook Ads Manager?
So if I come in here and if I come into the ad section,
Mm-hmm.
click on edit,
Mm-hmm.
I click on this little link right here. It says Facebook post with comments.
Okay.
Should get the link. It's one of these. Uh, or it's like share link, share link. It's one of these. We'll be able to get it over to us.
Okay.
So I think it's share link. Actually, yeah, I think it's this. Copy and then you share that.
Okay. I'll get it right now.
But anyways, I mean,
It's
while he's sharing that, I guess I'm on me and you can chop it up. What's aside? I mean, I do want to look at that. I want to see if there's something there. But based off of like where you're at, what's bringing your mind, or like what did you want to chop it up about, man?
So yeah, I kind of want to go through like maybe what the AI is currently doing, and then just seeing if you have any initial thoughts. Like I'm gonna also test with a few clients like where it doesn't ask for the deposit, but like kind of like how Rich said in his video where he's like, so you need to let us know when we text you, to like if you can't make it or not. Otherwise, if you don't show up, you'll be red flagged in our system. So like I kind of like that a lot because, maybe it'll create some scarcity and it's still low risk for them because they're not having to put in their money somewhere that they don't know, but they also know that there's some scarcity there. So
You're
that's
thinking,
one thing.
so
Uh,
you're well, instead of collecting a deposit, just that telling them something in order to scare them into showing up. Is that kind of what you're getting at? So okay, so now it's like we're not collecting a deposit at all. Like that's kind of where your mind is going.
Right. So there's that part. And then two, on top of that, one creating like a calendar where they just like when they confirm the appointment, they just put them in, they'll get the reminder text to send out. But I'm also like, Alex Hormozy is a big like pushing towards like before the appointment, you send them like a personalized video. Even in his book, he's like, if it's hard, then good, because that's what it should be. And so like basically just showing just like because I think people are just skeptical. Like they want to do it, I think. Like they seem like they're really interested. And like if they feel like someone is taking the time to get things ready for them, then it's almost like shameful if they don't show up. If someone like set up a whole birthday for them and they invite all their friends and they set up like this really great thing, it would be like a very bad thing if you didn't show up to that. And like so that's kind of like the angle that they're pushing where they're like, yeah, we just got this ready. Like let me know what size t-shirt you want. And it just to create like completely personalized to them. And like just something quick, like something that's a script where they could just record it,
That,
send it. Like
that gonna cost money because I think I did bring that up in the past. Like I didn't ask you like why don't we do this, but I was wondering, like I was asking, like I wasn't suggesting that we do that, but I was wondering if there's a problem associated with it. Is there a problem associated with like, for example, if they schedule somebody in, they don't show up, they have a doctor there already, and they have to have to eat the overhead costs. Is there like a problem with that?
so I asked Karen about that because I was like, oh, like, are you basically screwed if when they don't show up? So like for her, it's not a problem because as long as like before she's had them fill out these forms before they showed up, so that way they could get straight into appointment. But when they fill out that form, they scheduled a virtual doctor, like the virtual doctor scheduled officially. So then she loses out on that money. It's like $50 to a doctor if they don't show up to that appointment. Whereas if they show up without filling out the forms and they fill out the forms in person, then the doctor gets scheduled right in there and then. So like for her, it doesn't. For everyone else, it does, who may have a doctor on board, but it's just their hourly, it's just like whatever, their time. So like the way I see it is that if they're already waiting for this person because even though they didn't respond after the whole deposit, they're still kind of like waiting around and they just want to be sure like they're doing that anyway. So like might as well try to like maybe take away the deposit because like they're already kind of waiting. I think if they are specifically paying $50 for a virtual doctor, then it could be a problem. But like if Karen just tells me like, oh, we could just get that person on as soon as that person shows up, then I don't see it being a problem. All that makes sense. So like, yeah, it probably hurts a little bit, but like they're already kind of waiting around because they're so desperate for that person to show up, you know?
Mason, are you there? If you are there, my question to you is,
Yes.
when you were doing the in-person stuff with Jared, what was, do you remember what your show up rate was? Was it like 50%? Was it 25%? Because I know you weren't collecting any deposits, right? So what was your show up
No,
rate?
I wasn't collecting any deposits. What was the show up rate? I honestly don't remember. I think it was relatively pretty good. I think it was over 50.
Yeah. I think so too. So here's what I think is going to happen, Aman. I think that your number right now is 20%. I think it will literally double if you don't collect a deposit. I keep hearing, like, from you, I hear deposit. From Joel Kaplan, I hear deposit. Those, and Great and Ursula. These are the only motherfuckers I hear deposit from. Nobody else collects deposit. Or Mosey doesn't collect deposit. Nobody else collects deposit. So I think that your theory is correct, and that if you don't collect a deposit and we just focus on automations and nurture and put in extra work, like, hey, what's your t-shirt, or what's this or that, I think that will, I think the numbers will work out.
Yeah,
So,
I think so too.
so I'm with you there.
Yeah, and we'll just be more aggressive in terms of like if you don't show up, then you know. But like I also think that I can get my clients to maybe put in some more effort in terms of like maybe sending a video message or sending like, you know, something that can
There's
just
two things. You can either heat up the floor beneath them to scare the shit out of them, or you can offer, entice them more with more honey. And what I mean by that is, at the last minute, we offer an additional bonus, offer
yeah.
additional thing
Yeah.
to
I was thinking
really.
both, honestly. Just like scare them as well as just really make it feel like, hey, like we're waiting for you. Like there's a bunch of us where like, you know, just I think that that's what that video message comes across. Again, we don't have to test both at the same time. We can test with no deposit, have an automated reminders, or at least manually reminding them, call them, just, you know. And we can have the AI just mention that, like, hey, we're gonna send you a few text reminders. You're also gonna get call reminders so that way you can be introduced directly towards your medical provider because we do, you know, wait for or we do have a special thing for each person that comes. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like just something where they can like if they get a call, they know it's, you know, from them and they'll talk to like a real person or something. I don't know. I'm just trying to think like,
I like Hormozy stuff. Like
yeah, I do too.
that's it. We can just, that's the variable that I would change.
Yeah, because like even if it's like just slightly higher than 50%, I'd much rather have it that and then they're making a bunch of money on the back end and then even if people are like, oh well, you know, I need to collect a deposit, it's like you're gonna have so many less appointments, you know, versus if you just eat the time when they don't show up, then the people who do show up, I promise you, like you're gonna get like at least 800 from them up front.
I think so too. So yeah, man, that's a pivot change that we make, man. Um,
Do you want
and
me to show you? Like I'll just show you what I currently because I made a an automated appointment calendar for one of my clients, and I think it could be a lot stronger. But I'll just show it to you now, and then maybe you know you can kind of we can kind of start brainstorming in terms of like what we'll need to do for higher show up rates. And it's funny because even right now, like my one of my new clients was like, "Hey, like, can we have it so we don't collect the deposit?" Because literally, like, no one is paying. Because like people will like literally be active, engaged. They'll send their full name,
I,
date of birth.
I'll tell you literally a real story, okay? I found this guy on YouTube, Dr. Starrett, the guy I told you about, literally him.
Okay,
And
yeah,
literally had a conversation. I called him. I wanted to schedule something for my mom. And I spoke with him, spoke with the staff, everything. And I mean, the dude's expensive. It's like $500 for an appointment. And so they're like, hey, Kershik, we need you to spend $100 and, put down a deposit. I didn't do it until the very end. I
yeah,
shit you not. Literally, I had the appointment scheduled for like 2 weeks ago, and then I still didn't pay it, and then I moved it to like last week, and then I literally just I didn't pay until literally the day before, and then I finally paid it because I'll tell you, as a consumer, in my mind, I'm like, fuck, that's expensive for an appointment. I don't even know if this guy can help my mom. And then two, I want to see if I can get this somewhere cheaper. And
right.
so And so I didn't pay until the very end. Why? Why? Here's why. Because I don't know of a better solution. This is important to me. That's the only reason why I paid. And so think about their perspective. Is this important enough to them? It's
Right.
probably not like, you know, that important. And they're still looking around for something cheaper. And so by the time their appointment comes around, they're just like, oh, fuck it.
Yeah.
But if on the other hand, yeah, so they're waiting all the way to the very end. And I think what you can do is again, you just shower them with love. We just shower them with love, the photo and all that stuff. They're like, you know, I actually want to really meet these people. I got nothing else going on. I think
Yeah.
that's the psychology.
Yeah, I think so too.
So
And just make it exciting because like when we're adding the stuff like the B12 bonus, like all we're just trying to do is make it more exciting for them to actually show up. So like yeah, I agree. I think we're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot. So I'll test it. I actually set it up for Karen where it didn't push for the deposit, so I was really excited to see how that went. It's been like 5 days and there hasn't been a booked appointment. I'm like, of course, like everyone else is getting consistent booked appointments right now, and hers just happened to stop right there. And I'll see if there's like any hangups during that. Like, I don't think there's been hangups. I think it's just people aren't answering.
uh,
But yeah, we'll see. But I'll set it up for this other new guy.
so I guess all the people they click the ad, they opt in, and then is the bot having a conversation via text or is it calling them to schedule them in?
It's calling them to schedule them in, and then it sends a text after to get their name, date of birth, email, and then I can't automate it where it sends a payment link, unfortunately. So like that's where my clients will just say, hey, like please make sure to cover the deposit. That way we can.
Moving forward, it's going to be add, they speak with the bot, and then from there, what are you going to do? And then you're just going to kind of leave it, or what's the
So that's what I'll show you now. Basically, I'm gonna have it where it lets them know, like, hey, please show up. Like, not please show up, but it's gonna really drill it. We're gonna send you a text after to get your full name, email, phone number, because I still think it's like a good thing if they reply to that text. We're also gonna, and I'll probably just say like we're gonna send you a few reminders before your appointment. So, just be aware that you're gonna receive some text from us. So that's how I'm probably gonna go about it. So here I'm thinking my clients like because right now the AI doesn't it's not connected to any calendar. So like my clients have to kind of like sometimes they'll text or call them being like, hey, can you do this time instead? So like if they need to do that, they can do that and then they can book them into like one of the Go High Level calendars where I'm thinking like it sends a text that says like, great, your appointment is set. Here's the address, check us out. So some credibility here. And then wait one day before say appointment reminder for Graceful Globe Med Spa. Hey, please remember you have appointment tomorrow. Text yes to confirm appointment or no, and we will reschedule and contact you. I actually just took this from my own primary care who sent this text to me. So
I like it.
2 hours before to saying your appointment with one thing Alex Ramosi said was like don't try to make the automatic reminders feel like a personalized text. Like people know it's automatic. So that's why it's very structured, very automatically. But if my clients can send like some video stuff beforehand, then I feel like that would help. If you have questions, please text or reach out. Here's our address. See you soon. So yeah, that's
Okay.
what I have so far. So I'm thinking we could just test that.
Okay. Um, yeah. I mean, did you send your stuff to Cam? And did Cam build his stuff off of yours
What do you mean?
for his like duct cleaning? What I'm wondering is like I want to compare and contrast like kind of like what you're doing versus him because he's got a very high show up rate for Michael.
Yeah, I don't even think I just created this, so I never had a automation for before show ups. I've been so focused like on just getting bookings. So I think Cam, like, if I'm not mistaken, you might have created yours from scratch.
Um, I don't remember, but it looks very similar to this.
Okay.
Fair enough. Cool, man. Like, yeah, let's just give it a shot. It's interesting. I'm It's like the more we kind of like strip away, like we start off adding a bunch of stuff. Now we're just like stripping more stuff away.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, there's not much more to say. I think it's that simple. It's like I think your head's in the right place.
Okay. Yeah, we'll start there and see how it goes because it's definitely like, yeah, I definitely hope that I can get the increase and show up rate soon.
What does I forget? It's been a while since I read Hormozy's book, but like, what do you remember what he does after somebody opts in? Like, what the step-by-step sequence is? I know there's like the photo, video, whatever, but do you remember by any chance off?
Yeah, so he calls them right away. I think he does like multiple follow-ups, so like a bunch of text calls and stuff until they can get them on the phone. When they get them on the phone, he's booking the appointment. He, he uses that line of like, "Are you a person of integrity?" Great, because when we say we're gonna show up somewhere, we show up somewhere, and so we only want to work with people who are aligned with that value. I did kind of use something like that where it, said something like, if you'll be red flagged in the system if you don't show up, that will prevent you from future promotions. Where we want to make sure we're working with people with integrity or something like that, where it's kind of just hits on that angle. And then he says, you're also going to receive 3 reminders before your appointment. I think maybe he breaks it down like one the day before, one the day of, and then, you'll get a call from us or something like that. Um, and then so he's like letting them know like, hey, you're gonna receive those appointments or those reminders. Um, and then he always schedules the next day, same time. Like that's like a big part is like just schedule on the same day or the next time. Um, and then so like that's the one thing for us to know too. Like with the AI, if someone books out further, it is gonna lessen their chance for sure. Um, so like we'll have to maybe think on like for those people. And then he'll send a video thing that's like I know in the book is there's one that's a like it's like a text or it's like a like so it's like a hey, like we're across the street from the 7-Eleven, so that's the way to show me you're a real person. And then but in the video I just watched recently, it's his new video. It's like here, sales, all of it. I don't know if you saw that, but it was like a 4-hour video. There's a whole section where he's going into that. So he talks about like doing like a video where he's like great, like we're setting up your account. I think this is more for B2B, so that's why he's like, look, we got a bunch of notes here for you. For the t-shirt size, like do you want small or large or whatever it is. So he has that, and then I'm not too sure what happens after that. I think they just wait.
Hmm. So interesting. It's almost like so you personalize so it can't be faked, and then you're asking a question. It sounds like you're asking for that interaction.
Yeah. Although there are AI softwares now where you can record a video one time and then the lips move for each person's name. So, if we find that works manually, my mind always goes towards the AI thing, but that's probably caused more pain to me than actual success. So
I no, I that's where my mind was going anyways. Is like I'm just curious like what he does, so I understand the psychology behind it, and then from there I figure out how do we automate it.
yeah.
Um, so okay. Yeah, if you think because it's been a while, I when I read the book, it was the photo.
Yeah. The book he mentions the photo.
And in the back it was like, oh, that's where our gym is. I remember that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if maybe we just
We could start with that probably.
yeah.
Probably easier.
I think if you think of something where you like that, and then hey, you know how my thing is like, hey, I'm looking forward to blah blah blah. By the way, do you need a link to our Zoom call? So think
Right.
of a question that you can ask. It's like, hey, here's da 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 da. By the way, do you need something for parking?
Right, right. Okay,
And,
I'll think of that.
and then we should pretty much know whether they're going to show up or not. And that can be part of your SOP, your course material. Like, hey, if they don't respond within this, da da da, they're not going to show up.
Right, right.
You
Yeah, I know sometimes it's the bonuses. So like for your bonus, would you like the bonus B12 shot or would you like to do a face mask instead? Something like that.
yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, and if you do something like that, again, we would try to make it so you could probably record a video of like the face mask versus this and that, and like so it shows like a hand, and
Uh-huh.
then I like AI change the voice. I'm sorry, change the name.
Right.
Hey, looking forward to seeing you, Karen. We're here. Also, which one of these did you want? Boom. That could
Yeah.
be good enough. I think that could be. that could work out very well.
Yeah, I think so. I think if we test some manually, see how it goes. If it increases the rates, then we could definitely automate. Because I already started looking into those softwares, and they exist. So
You would.
yeah,
But
for sure. I'm like, yeah, because I'm like, oh, that should be automated.
okay.
But okay, I'll try that. I'll report. I think that's the big thing right now. It's just like, you know, is that. So I think as long as, if we get to 50% booking rate, like I'd much rather take a 50% booking rate than like, 100% booking rate, but we lose out on like 4 out of 5 people.
I agree. Yeah. So this is Jorge's numbers.
Okay.
So I mean I personally think something is going on here in terms of like just winter, but like his show up rate was like 50%, 70%. I think this is normal. And again, Masons, everything I've seen across the board is about 50%.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit slower just because of holiday season. Um, that's another thing. I mean, I don't know if it's 20% because collecting payment, maybe holiday season. I don't want to throw more variables in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is normal about. I think we should 50%. So, anyways, anything else that you want to talk about, man? Anything else that's brewing your mind?
No, I think I'll test that. I can test that with this guy immediately, and then I should be able to like see soon if it helps.
Yeah, do that. I will look into Jeremy stuff. If there's anything there, I know again, I don't want it to feel like shiny object syndrome or complete change anything, but I do want to look into that and see if there's anything there for us.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure. For sure. Because even like even if you get like a handful of people to pay the $19 or the $20 and then the rest are through my AI caller, like that could even be something, right? Where you're hitting them from all angles and then, you know. So if I figure this out here with the AI caller, getting them show up, then maybe we have a system where 10% of them pay up front. Great, those are secured no matter what. And then the rest of them will just use my system. So it's almost like a hybrid, could be. It's just a
could be. I will see. I will see. I mean, the
yeah.
easiest way, I mean, I don't know. It probably isn't worth it yeah, it would cause confusion, but I was just gonna be like, oh, Jeremy could just run the ads in your location for like 24 hours and just see if it works. That's like the way to know, but that would cause trouble. I don't know if he can share his link. I'm sure he could probably share a snapshot with you, and then you can like spend a few dollars and just see if it works or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be worth it.
Yeah. I'll see if he's willing to work something out like that.
Cool. Um, I anything else that's brewing your mind? I know, yeah, anything brewing your mind before, we chop it up and do our monthly call? Anything else that is on your mind? Anything?
No, I think that's the big thing. That's the big lever that I want to focus on today.
Okay. So yeah, let's do this. Why don't we just like try to go ham for like a week and
Yeah.
see a difference, and then we can revisit the numbers and chop it up. The next time when we do chop it up, we can see the new numbers.
Okay, that sounds good. I may like leave after this just because I want to send a voice note to him who just asked about doing that so I can kind of explain things a little bit thoroughly and then I'll implement it for him.
Sounds good. Cool. All right, man. If that's everything, then I'll move on to Cam.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Um, Mr. Cam. Um, let's delve in, man. Thank you for being patient, man.
Yeah.
Um, so how do you want to do this? I can kind of just go in order, or like, how do you want to do this?
You're right about the comedy ads. That's not really important right now. Um, Filming, I think we kind of got the filming thing. I'm thinking I'm just gonna hit my dad up and be like, is it cool if I just work for free as long as you let me do some jobs with some glasses on my head recording your customers? I don't know how that's gonna go, but um that's kind of I agree with you where I would like to do it. To me, it was just me being lazy where I was like, there's another way I can think of where we could fake it just so I don't have to actually work and go to Edmonton, like drive down there. Like that's way more stuff than just me being in the same house and doing it in like 30 minutes. But you're right. If there's like even a little sense of fakeness, and that would just be so bad. And I know I can do it, so why not actually prove what I'm selling? Um, what's next? Trial script. Oh, yeah, what was that for?
So your thing was how do you do the $1,000 trial?
Yeah, yeah. Can I share my screen? So this part I read off exactly how you told me to read it off and how you say like word for word. I guess I have two things for you. It's this one where once if they do agree to the 2083, be like, let me do you one better. That's kind of when I go into here. Let me make my screen bigger for you. That's when I kind of go into this one where I try to go for the prepayment if they're able to pay off the remaining balance in the second month. Can you read that and let me know if there's anything there that you're like, oh, that's
Tell you what, John, let me do one better. Let's start out. Let's start with the $2,083 for the first month to get things rolling and get you some results. Get you some houses. Then in month two, so long as you're able to pay off the remaining balance of 4,000, that you get some houses. So here's what I would say. After first month, get you rolling, get you some results, get you some results, get you into some houses. I'd probably say get you into some houses, get you some results. That's probably how I'd say it. Yeah, I would say get you into some houses, and then I would say get you some results.
oh, okay.
Get you into some houses, get you some results, making you some money. Get you some results, making you some money.
Cheers. Making you some money.
So I'll tell you what, let's start with 2000, get you in the house. So I'll get you some making. So long, and then so instead of saying then in month two, I would say so long as you're able to cover the remaining balance, the remaining balance of $5,000 by then, we'll go ahead and give you by then, we'll go ahead and still honor that and still honor that 20% discount. Discount parentheses.
Jesus.
Discount. Yep. Period. So, so in other words, cover. So in other words, cover cover the dollar amount, whatever that is, 2,000, 5,000 minus 5,000 minus 2,083. So in other words, cover 2917 by, and then the date. So give the specific date.
Okay.
In other words, cover. So in other words, cover, okay, and you'll get the discount. How's that sound?
Um, so
Words
what was
cover.
the last part?
In other words, cover the 2917 by note, and we'll be good to go.
And
And then we'll be good to go. How's that sound? How's that sound? 28. How's that sound? How's that sound? 20. Get you. How's that sound? 2890. 2893. Yeah, how's that sound? 2093.
oh, you asked me to type?
Um, I'm just trying to talk out. I'm just trying to like make it I'm just sounding it out in my head. So long as you're able to cover the remaining balance of $5,000 by then, we'll go in. So another discount. So in other words, cover, you know, so in other words, so let's go back to that. So in other words, 2083 today. Today. So in other words, 2083 today, get some results, parentheses, comma, parentheses, get some results, parentheses, then cover 29 by boom, then cover, and we're good to go. How's that sound? Yeah. And then you can get rid of everything. How's that sound? Cool. And this stuff again, I know you like typing it out and having exactly. For me again, I would, my advice to you is like try it, see how well that does for you. But like also this is like I just kind of sound it out if whatever feels good, man. And I think it's important that you do that. I
Right.
don't think it shouldn't try to be so rigid because as I say this to you, it sounds good, but then I don't know if it's going to sound good when you actually do it out in the field. So just kind of keep that in mind, man.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then this is
So
the $1,000 one.
okay. Um,
This is like if I don't know, whatever the situation is where like they're about to go out, they don't have credit card, or all of it's bad. My last resort is like, all right, well,
so the $1,000 option is um that's what you would lead with that. It's not that they don't have anything. You would lead with that, right? Does that make sense or no?
oh yeah, it's I have to feel it out, right? Where if I think they'll pay, it's just a unconfident thing that it's gonna work. Go with the 5 grand or monthly, and then if I feel like they don't have the money or I feel like I'm gonna lose them, like there's just no way, then I go with the $1,000 and just try my best shot at it.
So if we draw it out, this is 2083 or 5,000. This is the 1,000. So if you go down this route, 2083, 5,000, they're going to say yes or they're either going to do the pay in full or not. If they do the pay in full, awesome. If they don't do the pay in full, you do what we just went over, right? The 2083 get started, da, da, da. And then if you don't, you go right here, which is, hey, it's 6,250 or one-time payment of 5,000. Now, in your particular case, I want to go and give you $1,000 for XYZ reason.
Oh, okay. Okay. So up until this point, what I've been doing is
I mean, what got you the sale the first two times? I'm curious about that.
it was this. I said exactly this. And then at the very end, I'm like, but we do have a third option. And basically, it's a trial. And the caveat with the trial is it's non-refundable, but people love the trial oftentimes because of XYZ. Regardless of a lot of people are 100% in, except for they need to know that they're going to be okay on the other side financially or whatever. So that's why we love the $1,000 trial and people will love to doing that. And then once we get you some results, get you into some houses, you have the confidence, you actually have money or like whatever I say. So that's how I went about it. But
I
I
would
just
do
kind of went 1, 2, 3 options like in a row.
That's right. I do the same thing. You just use different wording. So I would suggest that you type that out. Just type that out and I will type this up. So if you just message me, I'll just type it over like what I say step by step instead of us trying to type it out here. It'll take too long. I'll just type it out for you. But I do the same thing as you. I just do it in a different way. The difference between how I do it and you do it is I don't talk about it's non-refundable.
Oh, okay.
The other difference is the way I say it is like I say everything the same thing, everything just like you. And so instead of saying, so just a one-time payment of $5,000, which of those two do you prefer? Instead of saying that, I say, now in your particular case, Cam, because of reason A, B, C, because you've been burned by an agency in the past, I know it's hard to, I know it's hard to trust people, right? I understand that. What I like to offer you, man, I don't typically do this. What I like to offer you, man, is a trial offer. So what I mean by that is just $1,000 down today. Um, Pay that $1,000. Let's get you some results. And then after we get you some results, so long as you're happy with it, you can go and pay off the remaining balance of $4,000 to still get that discount of $5,000 or 20% off. Or, hey man, if you're not happy, just do the $1,000 and then no harm, no foul. That's what I'd like to offer you. Just again, just put your mind at ease, peace of mind, get your foot and step your toes in, just get started today. How's that sound? So again, see, I'm not fucking like going off a script, but like the idea, the premise is the same. So it's very similar to what you did. I'm playing on the angle of you've been hurt. So this only the way my shit works is you've been hurt. You've been hurt. Something bad has happened. You're low on cash, right? I'm doing you a favor. I'm doing you a favor. That's what it is. I'm doing you a favor so you don't have to risk all this money. That's why this works. That's the difference. And
Yeah.
I don't have that depositing. Your thing is like, hey, we have a 5,000 offer, we have a 6,250, or we have a 1,000. Here's the thing with $1,000. It's the cheapest, but here's the cons of it. That's how you're doing it. I'm not doing it that way. I'm doing it's $1,000 because it's going to be easier for you.
Right. I think I'll change it up. I think the reason why I locked that in is because initially I'm starting to get used to like the whole magician thing, like make a guarantee offer, and then in the back end, as long as you're making the money, they're gonna be happy. They don't even remember about that. That's why I did that, to kind of save my butt. So I'll probably just, I don't know why I wouldn't switch to that way. No, I can't think of one reason why I would stay doing that, but um
Sure that
yeah.
it works. There's something about that work. So that's what I'm saying. Still write it down, have it in your back pocket. But I'll send you mine as well.
Yeah. Um
So does that answer your question regarding this stuff?
Yeah, it does. I'll have to tweak that a little bit. I'll send you kind of what I got, I guess. But to just clarify, there's the 2000 or 625 or 250, or sorry, the 5000 prepayment or the monthly plan down here, and then over here it's the $1,000 option. And you're saying with the $1,000 option, you still go over the prepayment and the monthly option, but you just reflect over that to get into but for you, for XYZ reasons, I'm going to hit you with the $1,000. Okay, so okay. I thought you meant it was like prepayment, monthly plan, or just $1,000. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yep. We're on the same page.
Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, that makes more sense.
So
Um,
go ahead.
no, I was just gonna look up what else I got. Um, yeah, I think Mason, are you around?
Oh yeah.
This one is I just kind of was looking at the stuff that you sent me with like all these.
Let's do if it's cool, let's do all Mason stuff at the end.
Oh yeah, okay. I wasn't sure maybe if you wanted to tag in on that one as well. It's kind of why I brought Mason up, but let's just do the ones that are only Eco Chic, I guess, if I can find some. Um, did that. I'll figure that out later.
The sales page, just look at mine and model that and you'll be good.
Okay, and then on your sales page, on like the original sales page, because I went over some onboarding stuff today. On that video, you had like the 5,000, because at the bottom you have three options: 5,000, 2083, and then I think $97 option or something.
Yeah. So I have the pay in full, and then I have the monthly payment plan, and then the third one, custom, is just custom. So in case I need to switch anything, I need to collect $1,000, or I have somebody that's doing a one-off thing. So I always have three.
Okay. And have you ever had somebody being like, oh, like if they agreed to like the prepayment plan of $5,000, have you ever had somebody get down there and see all the other options? They're like, oh, I didn't, if I was just finding that those were like,
No, because if you think about it, if mine says 5,000 on the first option, 2,083 on the second option, the other one says $97 a month. Um, I if they say select option one, select option two is already stupid. Like they're doing option one because option two is stupid. It's not a good deal. And then option three, they're not actually thinking about it. Um, and I would say here, the reason for that is so this is important, I guess, is I when I go over the price with somebody and so somebody says, yeah. Okay. So let's say I go over the price with you, you say, yeah. It's like, awesome. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull my screen. Can you see my screen? Yeah. Okay. So then I'll go to my sales page and I'll tell them, here's what the experience. So at the very top, we have this headline and we have this video. You don't have to worry about this, literally everything. I scroll down. All right. So there's this stuff here are the testimonial. You don't have to worry about that. At the very bottom, there's, you're going to put your name, email, phone number here, and then you're going to select option one. Okay. This is what we spoke about. Option two is not what some of you want. And option three, that's something else entirely. That's for continuation stuff. Okay. Don't worry about that. And then you're gonna click submit and it's gonna take you to another page. Okay, Cool. All right, cool. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. I'm gonna send you a link now. Okay, you see a link? Okay, go and click on it. All right, cool. I'm gonna go and just share your screen with me, make sure everything's good, and then I just watch them. So you see that? So I explain it before I send the link over.
Yeah, okay. I don't think I've ever seen a video of you actually. I've seen you say like now you show the sales page, which was, but I haven't seen you like go down to the bottom and kind of that makes more sense. And especially like the video thing, just say like in this video you don't have to watch it. We've already that makes more sense to me. Okay, cool. Um, what else is next? Yeah, I think everything else is for Mason. This one might be a hybrid of you got of both of you. So, review where me and Michael are at currently.
Cool.
So essentially, with Michael, I have two different campaigns set up. I still have to create a different pipeline and go high level for the messengers. Um, but for the forum, we have them both scheduled to launch tomorrow at 6 p.m. This one's set at $50 a day, and this one's set at $25 a day. I don't know if you watched the loom that I sent you guys, but basically he wants to do that because he's overwhelmed that if Messenger ads works, he already is struggling to have time with responding to all these leads. So he's like, if that goes off, he understands how Messenger ads work. Like there's a lot more nurturing and filtering and excluding people to get to the winners. And he's like, I don't have that in me. So he was kind of talking about AI and a bunch of other stuff. And I was like, we have to pay for AI, and for AI, you need a prompt. And we don't have enough skin in the game in the messenger game to know what prompt to make because that's the whole point of a bot. You know what works. So you train a bot knowing what you know what works so that you don't have to be there for it and they can do it automatically. But if we don't know what works, how are we supposed to make a prompt that works? Um, so that's kind of the stage where we're at. And I'm like, if you get overwhelmed, then we'll start making a bot and we'll just experiment with stuff. But I let them know like that's investment of time and money. So I say we put more skin in the game towards messenger ads, experiment with different things. And then once we actually have a good idea as to what's working for like the second text, third text, the common questions that are coming versus lead formats, which he does have a good grasp on already. Then maybe we can work on some automations in the back end where like a few automations will go out by the first response and yada yada before the bot because he just wants to dive right into AI. But I don't know. So I put in $25 on messenger ads and then $50 on lead form ads, which we know work just from last time, unless it's broken again, which it shouldn't be. That's why I label this as broken, and I completely made a different campaign. Um, but with messenger ads, I'm wondering. That's kind of where I'm wondering for Mason and your help is what do you guys recommend we do in terms of um, the best plan of attack for the greeting thing to help us out? Do you think this is fine for now, or do you guys have any automations that you think would be basically just based off of what I said? What would you guys recommend, or do you have anything?
Like, I guess what's the problem that you're trying to solve?
I was literally just gonna say the exact same thing.
I don't know. I'm just stressing. I think just like figuring out where to start off in terms of am I just at a point now where we just got to put some money at it and wait to see what the reaction is from what we have currently? And then based off of that, make changes. And then, like, do you guys recommend that we don't touch any AI and don't set up any automations until we actually do what I just kind of said with Michael, where he just has to get sweaty for a little bit here and just work those thumbs?
Doing Messenger? Weren't you already doing these? Weren't you doing
Yeah.
it? What's the difference between now and earlier?
It's all the same stuff. Um, I think we turned ads off for a second. I'm trying to think what the reason was.
I guess what I'm asking you is like, what's the difference between the messenger ads now? Like, is there a difference in the greeting? What's different now? Because if there's nothing different now, just do what you did before.
Greetings the same. The ads dried out no matter how many times we duplicated it, so I just changed out the ad. This is another thing completely separate. I edited something where Utah County is like a pretty smallish area with maybe 1 million people or so. So I took the headline and I kept Utah County as the top in the primary text, just so like Utah County and surrounding area is there. But then for the ad, I put a city that's in that area, if that makes sense.
So or Durham is like within that. I see. Okay.
Yeah, so it says Orem. I don't know, like this is I can still edit this. So I was wondering what you guys I probably should show this to you guys beforehand, but
So, I mean, before we delve into that though, like going back to like the message, like I don't think you need to do anything different to answer your question. Unless Mason, you have something, I don't think you need to do anything different. It doesn't sound like you're doing anything different.
no, I haven't changed anything.
Yeah, so why would you do anything different? If you're opening headline, I mean, you're greeting, if same offer, same price point, same everything, like there's no reason to change anything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Michael wanted to bring the price point up a little bit. And I said we should focus on sales. But he's like, no, dude, we got to bring it up for whatever reason. So that's one thing that we did change. We went from 249 to 279. If it doesn't work, he'll be happy to bring it back down. I think he's aware of that. He's kind of putting his own neck out on the line. I told him that's not going to work. Like, it's not going to work as well. It's like a price-based offer. Lowest price is going to get the buyer. Um,
Yeah.
a lot of the time we're already charging more than anybody else on the platform, so it's working in that sense. But if we go too high, who know? I don't really know the variable because I've never tested it before. That's kind of why I said that. Um, but we'll see what happens. Maybe it'll work better. Who knows?
Answer your question, yeah, for the creative, if it's going to be it's going to make a difference where it says Orem homeowner versus like Utah County and surrounding areas. Like that will make a difference.
Yeah. Is it based off your experience, is it like a dumb risk? Because my idea was kind of just like regarding the super local areas. I was like everyone knows the areas. Like instead of naming like all the little cities in Utah County, just go straight for one of the cities that everybody would know. And then above it's like Utah County and surrounding areas. And I have another ad that's going out there that's like Leahy, which is another city in Utah County. Um,
Yeah. So it's like this is all of Utah County, and then Orem is here. And so if these people might not respond to the ad, right? If the people that you're targeting out here might not respond to like because it's this city, you know what I mean?
right.
So I don't know. It's possible that they don't. It's possible that that affects results.
Right. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I'll test it out, but I should probably just keep it at like Utah County homeowner shocked. But um would you guys say that's a good way to go? But like homeowner shocked, and then because it's kind of like a reaction about um what's found in her air returns
That I don't know.
that you don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is just testing.
Okay. Um, do you guys have any like recommendations on what to test? Because right now we have I'm interested in learning more. Um, we kind of thought about trying out the response where it's like we have availability next 1 to 3 days. What time is good for us to come out in between that time, or should we look at another week? That's one that you and I discussed at one point. Instead of asking how soon, would you
I
like to schedule?
I honestly, you and Mason can chop it up about that. For me, man, I would not change anything. You got something that's working, stick to it. Don't get fancy. It's not time to get fancy. You get fancy. If I were you, I would get fancy later once this is consistently, predictably working and you just know it's going to work. Then it's like you want to test out additional variables, go for it. I would not be getting fancy right now. Does
Yeah.
that make sense? Like, like get to a place where, because right now you're like, oh man, it dried up. Okay, well, get to a place where you have figured out where like, okay, every week I'm putting in a new creative and that's what's going to make it work. And I know I'm going to get 4 months out of it. Like get to that level of confidence before you try to change up this messaging and do that kind of stuff. That's me, at least. That's how I would do it.
Yeah.
The creative is always the thing that you would probably want to change first, in my opinion. So, like, if you're trying to solve the problem of people trying to send you more messages, I don't think that changing that opening line will be something like worth doing, just because if they want to type something in themselves, they can fully do that, right? And I think that's something that's like super important to mention as well as like, um, you're kind of doing the same thing that you were doing before, and you're self-sabotaging yourself in a way. And I think it's important to bring up because what you keep doing, Cameron, is like a recurring theme with you. Is something I've noticed is like you keep touching things or like wanting to touch things that should not be touched yet. So it's like think about what happened with the discovery calls and like the sales calls. And it's like that change there affected your entire business, right? And it's kind of like what we're doing right now. It's not going to have that huge impact, but at the same time, it's like we're falling into that pattern again, if that makes sense. But I think that's something that should be brought up as well because I think where you're trying to innovate is very good because it's like you're actively wanting to do something and trying to solve a problem. But I think that if you come to us with like the problem first, maybe, and kind of not just come with us with the problem, but come with the solution as well, and tell us like why it's a specific problem and show us the numbers to it, it'll bring you more clarity. And then you'll probably be like, oh, this was never an issue to begin with. And it's like if we it's actually pretty simple to like solve the problem once we know what it is. Like I would think 80% of the actual problem is figuring out what it is, like is. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
when you're trying to change things in your business, it's kind of like, and a lot of times what people do is they like to add to their business, like, oh, I need to do this, I need to add this, I need to add this, and I need to add this. Where what I like to do is like, how can I eliminate more shit to make this work? Like, what is actually causing the bottleneck? So I think that your decision-making process in terms of like what to do with the bottlenecks that you think you may have will be able to be solved a little bit more clear if you're more like trying to figure out what is the number one thing in the business that's clogging the faucet right now and fixing that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. The main thing is kind of what you're saying is like if I feel like there's a problem, make a video as to what the problem is and how I think to solve it and like to explain what the I think the problem is and then let you guys pick it apart and be like that's not a problem at all
Right.
or leave
I
that
think it,
alone or
yeah, it starts with like, why is this a problem? Why do I think it's a problem? And what is the solution? And then it's like, if you come to us with that, right? Half the time you probably won't even send it to us because you're like, oh shit, that's not even a problem. You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
So it's good and it's good because you're someone that actively wants to move stuff around and you want to make things work and you want to improve all your numbers around like universally. But really there's only a certain couple of things in your business that are going to move the needle for you. And like I don't want you to get in the same like decision making process that I had like earlier in my journey where it was like I would change so many things at one time and then my numbers would move around again. And I'd be like, fuck, like, why is this happening? And then I would change a whole bunch of things and then the numbers would go back. And it was like, well, if I would have just changed one thing at a time and really realized what was the one problem I was trying to solving right there and then, I would be way more like advanced in my journey versus like throwing so many different variables at it and then trying to guess which one works. So for now, for you, it's like if your cost per booking is still pretty low, it's like, okay, well then that's good. But if it starts to dry up, it's not because of the messaging, right? It's because of the ad. So it's like instead of going and trying to figure out this whole AI thing, it's like, how can I create 5 different ad creatives so that when it dries up, I can launch an ad every single month and not have to change anything with my messaging. And then it's like once you have those 5 things, then it's like, okay, how can I squeeze more of the lemon? Right? It's like, what's the next step that I can do? Right? It's
Right.
okay, now I have all these bookings. Now, my client's making money, but he's not making enough, so I can't charge him 5K. Okay, now I need to learn more about the back end because we're all booking jobs and it's consistent for 5 months, but he's not making enough money for me to charge. And then you can start figuring out that problem. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know if that was useful, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it would be something that
No, no, it does. Yeah, I gotta keep on reminding myself of that. Thank you. Um, I think what started this whole thing was Michael basically saying we hopped on a call. Um, we got some results with Messenger. We know that Facebook Forums is working. Then I said, well, why would we do Facebook forums if the cost per acquisition is like a quarter of what it costs to get an acquisition from lead forms? And he's like, that's what he told me. He's like, it'll just gonna be way too overwhelming for me. And I was like, okay, well then the only solution to that is that's why I'm kind of at the stage right now where I'm like, regardless of what you think is gonna happen, we don't know. And if that's a problem that you're overwhelmed with the amount of conversation that's coming in, that's a good problem to have. Then we'll figure something out. So I kind of just jumped to let's see if we can figure this out now because I think we kind of ended the call with like I'll figure something out. We'll see what happens. I sent him a limb explaining what I just kind of told you guys. But then I was like, now that I have this call, maybe you guys actually do have something for me where you're like, oh yeah, we can just put this in there. This would be a great automation to set up because
So this is something me and Mason went over like last week or the week before. And what the reality is this is if you there's like not just one funnel or strategy that works for every industry, but rather it's not the industry, but rather your resources that you have available for you. So for what I mean by that is this. Messenger ads are going to be like here in terms of they're going to be the cheapest. You're going to have the highest volume. They're going to be so the cost per acquisition is going to be the lowest typically, and your CPM is going to be the lowest typically, but you're going to have a shit ton of volume. So that's what Mason does, personal trainers, what you're doing. And then you have maybe lead forms, which is like up here, which is like, okay, you're going to have less volume. It's going to be more expensive, which is what you were doing before. And then after that, the level above that is going to be when you drive traffic off of social media and you're getting into an actual funnel. But here's what's happening. The lead volume is less here and the quality is typically better here. So does that make sense? So it's like as you go up, your quality decreases, your volume decreases. And why would you might think, okay, why the fuck would somebody want this? It's literally his case. So he would much rather do lead forms, which is more expensive because he doesn't have the ability to like work the leads. So same thing here. Well, I don't do a traditional VSL funnel because I just don't want to deal with the volume. I know I can make more money. I know cheaper costs, but like I don't want to do that. I just don't want to do that. I don't want to hire a sales team. I don't want to do that. So does that make sense? It's like you have to decide, okay, how much resources do you have? It's kind of like somebody that has a business with one truck versus 10 trucks. Those are different kinds of businesses, even though they're both duct cleaning businesses. So that's what he's talking about. And that's all you need to understand. That's the lesson here. Now, in terms of like changing up a messaging and this and that, there's nothing to do here. There's nothing. It's just do more of it. So hopefully that helps you understand. So you have messenger ads, you have lead form ads, and I bet you there's something else that works. Right now, it's going to be a healthy balance. So I think for you down the road, by the way, if you can get these messenger ads popping and working again, what I think could be is like you don't do lead form ads with anyone else. You just do messenger ads for all your clients and you figure out a way to solve the problem, the bottleneck, where you introduce an AI bot or you have a VA or something like that. I think that's what's most likely you're going to do in the future.
right. Yeah, that's kind of the dream, even for lead form ads, because as soon as I come in, I can still text them from SMS. So I was like, if I can get a bot going out, I think it was like a month ago when things were going well for Michael. I was like, if I can get a bot going and replace anybody having to touch it, that would be like disgusting. But yeah.
On the road, that's what things will look like. And so, but yeah, those are my thoughts regarding that. Anything else that you have for me, or do you have Mason questions?
I think all the other ones are Mason questions.
Okay. If that's the case, then I will leave you guys to that. Riviera, do you have anything else for me?
No. I mean, I had randomly during this call a lead or discovery call booked with somebody tomorrow, but they're like they sell inverters, so they sell like the actual installation units. Is that something I should entertain or?
Installation units for HVAC?
Yeah, so they sell like an inverter.
I mean, yeah, you should entertain everything, man. Yeah, I would
Cool.
entertain. Yeah.
For sure. Sweet. That was my question. And then I actually have to take off here for another call after this, the late night call, but I'll let you know how it goes.
Sounds good. Yeah, keep us posted. All right. Then I will go and end this call, and then Mason, if you want to start up another one, I'll come and hang out for a little bit.